Chapter 27:18. He wasn't shocked at all. Not just by Jing. No matter who it was, they wouldn't be able to resist the primal chaos tablet at all. Would Longao agree? As long as he wasn't an idiot, he wouldn't. Even if the grudge between him and Bai Jing had been written off, he had still killed 4 Pinnacle Space Undyings from the #1 Universe Empire. Who knew if Bai Jing would turn against him the moment she became the universe ruler? He couldn't take the risk. Almost as though she could guess what Longao was thinking, Bai Jing said, "Longao, if you don't believe me, I can make a blood oath, how about that?" He shook his head. "Bai Jing, I have no choice. You've already refined the secret region. Even if we can think of a way to help you in the future, I won't do that." "Why is that?" Bai Jing was completely anxious. All these years, the 9 of them had never given up on any chance to get the primal chaos tablet. If it wasn't for dealing with Longao, who knew where the 9 of them would be? She didn't know why, but Bai Jing believed Longao in her heart. After breaking through to the universe ruler level, the blood oath has no use at all. So that's the case. Actually, Longao really did have a way. However, it was truly terrifying. To swallow the primal chaos tablet again, he would first have to strip the refined secret region from his body. This was simple to think about, but once he actually did it, he knew how dangerous it was. Stripping the secret region, if he wasn't careful, he would die. He would truly die without even a chance to reincarnate. "Longao, what do I have to do for you to trust me?" "Strip the secret region, even if we can get the tablet. Are you willing to strip it?" "Strip the secret region?" Hearing Longao's words, Bai Jing's expression changed, becoming ugly. Bai Jing wasn't an idiot. Of course she knew what stripping the secret region meant. There couldn't be any mistakes, otherwise she would be doomed. On one side was stripping the secret region, on the other was the primal chaos tablet. "Bai Jing, I'm just guessing. Whether or not there's a primal chaos tablet within the mysterious region is still unknown." He was helpless. However, thinking about it, he understood. With Bai Jing's current strength, in the entire vast universe, only the primal chaos tablet could move her. Everything else was nonsense. "I know. However, I want to go with you. What do you think?" Bai Jing was afraid that Longao would misunderstand. Before Longao could speak, Bai Jing continued to say, "Longao, I can promise you that when we enter the mysterious plane, no matter what happens, the first chaos tablet we find will belong to you. I will only take the second chaos tablet." She had searched for countless years. Bai Jing was not willing to give up so easily, even if it was the slightest clue. "No problem, we'll go now." Longao had already stepped into the mysterious plane before. Although it was a narrow escape, he still obtained the 9 great mystic realms in the end. As for whether there was a primal chaostes was longed. However, his intuition told him that the mysterious plane was definitely not simple. The 9 secret realms that he had obtained, in addition to the 9 secret realms that Bai Jing and the others had obtained, added up to a total of 18 secret realms. What did this mean? No matter what, Longao was still prepared to try his luck. At this time, his family had been forcefully sealed in the cave and could only continue to build an army outside. With his own strength, how could he fight against the 6 of them? Even if his luck was good and he could refine a non-elemental primal chaos tablet and become a starry sky dominator, he still did not have the slightest confidence to fight against 6 of them. Because of this, Longao could not wait to find the other primal chaos tablet. Longao and Bai Jing did not hesitate. They immediately left the first realm and headed towards the mysterious region. Other than Bai Jing, almost no one knew that Longao had stepped into the first plane. It was impossible for this matter to be leaked out. Otherwise, one could imagine what the consequences would be. In everyone's opinion, Longao did not even dare to save his family and did not dare to enter the soaring dragon realm. He must be hiding. The 2 of them moved very quickly and stealthily. Needless to say, Longao did not want anyone to know about the mysterious region. Even Bai Jing did not want anyone to know about it. As for the other 8 half-step starry sky dominators, even if they were beaten to death, they would never have thought that the mysterious region had not only 9 primal chaos tablets, but also 9 other primal chaos tablets. Bai Jing also somewhat believed that there might be primal chaos tablets in the mysterious region. Otherwise, how could 18 primal chaos tablets appear at once? It was unbelievable. The mysterious region. If Longao and Bai Jing had not been here before, it would have been difficult to find the mysterious region. The location of the region was too remote. No one would step into this region. Longao, since you have already entered this mysterious plane before, then I don't need to say anything more. I believe you should know how dangerous this mysterious plane is. At that time, although the 9 of us obtained the 9 great secret realms, we almost lost our lives. If it wasn't for a slight chance, I wouldn't be willing to come here a second time in my life. Longao nodded in agreement. He had personally experienced the dangers mentioned by Bai Jing. If it were not for his good luck, not to mention obtaining the 9 primal chaos tablets, he might have died in there. However, the current situation was too dangerous. He had to obtain the primal chaos tablets or primal chaos tablets. Only then could he create more half-step starry sky dominators and starry sky dominators to prepare for the future. Bai Jing, although the grudges between you and me have been written off, it is impossible for us to become friends. The reason I told you this is to return the secret you told me. You and I do not owe each other anything. In this case, we will go our separate ways. As for whether we can obtain the primal chaos tablets, it will depend on the will of heaven. How about it? Bai Jing seemed to want to say something, but she swallowed her words. She knew very well that Longao was right. If the 2 of them walked together, neither of them would be at ease. Who knew if the other would stab them in the back? The safest way was to go their separate ways. However, Bai Jing was not a fool. Compared to Longao's luck, her luck was nothing. Otherwise, how could she only obtain 1 primal chaos tablet, while Longao obtained 9 primal chaos tablets? There was no comparison. Although she was unwilling, Bai Jing still nodded and said, "Okay, let's do it." Longao was anxious. Of course, he did not want to waste time. He immediately turned and left. In a short while, he had disappeared without a trace. Chapter 27:19. This was the second time he entered the mysterious plane. Longao was still very careful. Luck did not come often. It was better to be careful. If he lost his life because of carelessness, it would not be worth it. Step by step, Longao was very clear that he had already obtained the 9 great mystic realms. Bai Jing and the others had also obtained the 9 great mystic realms. In this mysterious plane, there were probably no more mystic realms. Chaos Stone Tablet. Whether or not he could obtain a Chaos Stone Tablet would depend on luck. Longao was also very nervous. Gradually, Longao's expression became more and more serious, because he gradually realized that this was the second time he had entered the mysterious plane. It was as if this plane was completely different from the ones he had encountered before. It was very strange. What was going on? He did not dare to be careless. Longao immediately stopped and released the aura of his primordial spirit to see if he could sense anything. Bai Jing? Looking at the white crystal that was quickly approaching, Longao felt very uncomfortable in his heart. They had already said that they would go their separate ways. Now that Bai Jing had come to find him, it was a little before Longao could speak. Bai Jing said anxiously, "Longao, I believe that you have already realized that something is wrong. This plane is no longer the same plane as before." So Bai Jing had realized it too. That's right. I sensed it too. According to my guess, if nothing unexpected happens, this mysterious plane will automatically change every time we enter. Longao also nodded in agreement. Regarding this point, Longao had also guessed it. That was indeed the case. Longao could not figure out what was going on. Longao's expression was extremely serious. His intuition told him that the situation here was definitely not right. As for what Bai Jing meant, how could Longao not know? If it was any other time, Longao would definitely not be willing to be with Bai Jing. After all, meeting a Chaos Stone tablet would be a huge problem. Even if Bai Jing said that she would give the first Chaos Stone tablet to him, then what about the second and third? It would be a lie to say that he did not want to take it all for himself. However, the current situation was very special, especially at such a time. The two of them were together and could more or less take care of each other. Longao had already thought it through. Even if he and Bai Jing were to walk together temporarily, once he found a Primal Chaos Stone tablet, no matter how many Primal Chaos Stone tablets there were, he would snatch them all. If they were friends, then so be it. Bai Jing was obviously not his friend. Strictly speaking, she was his enemy. How could Bai Jing not know what Longao was thinking? He knew what was going on, but he didn't say it out loud. Although she and Longao were no longer life and death enemies, if she encountered the so-called Chaos Stone tablet, Bai Jing would definitely attack without hesitation. For the Primal Chaos Stone tablet, Bai Jing could give up everything. Both of them had their own ulterior motives. Longao, what should we do now? We have no idea how big this plane is. However, my essence soul aura isn't able to cover that far. Same for me. Under normal circumstances, Bai Jing was a half-step space dominator, while Longao was a peak space undying. Bai Jing's essence soul was far above Longao's. There was no doubt about it. If it was any other peak space undying, it would definitely be the same. However, the current situation was different. Looks like we can only continue walking. Since they were unable to use their essence soul, then there was only one way. That was to continue walking. Whether they could find the Primal Chaos Stone tablet in this mysterious plane, in the end, it all depended on luck. If they were lucky, even if they were unable to use their essence soul, they could still find the legendary Primal Chaos Stone tablet. If they were unlucky, not to mention finding the Primal Chaos Stone tablet, they might not even be able to leave this place alive. Try your luck. Bai Jing was clearly afraid of this plane. If not for the Primal Chaos Stone tablet, even if you beat him to death, he wouldn't be willing to take a single step in. His narrow escape from death that year was still fresh in his mind. It was truly terrifying. Just like that, the two of them continued walking. They did not meet with any danger. It was as though they were just taking a stroll. It was strangely peaceful. But the more peaceful it was, the more Longao and Bai Jing did not dare to let down their guard. Boom, 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 boom. Just then, the initially clear skies of the 9 heavens were suddenly filled with thunder. Without giving the two of them any chance to react, countless bolts of lightning struck down from the 9 heavens. Their targets were the two of them. What was going on? The two of them were confused. Be it Longao or Bai Jing, with their current strength, they were not afraid of any power of thunder. But this time around, the situation was clearly different. The moment the 9 heavens struck down with lightning, Bai Jing exclaimed, "Destructive thunder! Longao, let's get out of here quickly. If we're struck by this lightning, we'll be destroyed instantly." Destructive thunder. Unless one was a starry sky ruler, even a half-step starry sky ruler would not be able to defend against it. But this was a power that only existed in legends. In the entire universe, no one had ever seen it before. That was the reason why Bai Jing was so shocked. Seemed like the two of them were really too lucky. Even though Longao had never heard of this thunder before, he could clearly sense how terrifying it was. Without any hesitation, Longao turned around and prepared to enter the Chaos Palace. But to his dismay, he realized that the situation was the same as before. He could not enter the Chaos Palace. The lightning bolts from the 9 heavens were too fast. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had no choice but to fight back. In just a few seconds, the two of them had been struck thousands of times. No matter how strong the two of them were, there was no way they could defend against the power of thunder of this level. Whether it was Longao or Bai Jing, they both knew very well that if this continued, it would not be a solution. The two of them might not even last a minute. Entering the mysterious plane this time was really not worth the loss. They thought they would obtain the Chaos Stone Tablet, but they did not expect that they would die here without even seeing a hair of the Chaos Stone Tablet. But it was useless to think about this now. It was too late to regret. What should they do? The situation was critical. On the brink of life and death, Longao held the Chaos Axe and began to strike in all directions. There was only one way out of this situation, and that was to use the starry sky cracks to devour the power of thunder and lightning. Sure enough, just as Longao had guessed, as the starry sky cracks appeared in all directions, the thunder and lightning from the 9 heavens were instantly devoured by the starry sky cracks. In the end, the two powers were not on the same level. The power of the starry sky cracks was far above the power of thunder and lightning. Chapter 27:20. She didn't feel any joy, because Bai Jing was very clear in her heart that although Longao temporarily blocked the 9th heaven lightning, it was impossible to maintain it endlessly. It was hard to imagine. If Longao was unable to continue, what kind of result would it be? She was very anxious. Even if Bai Jing wanted to help, she was powerless because even the Starry Sky Dominator could not break open the Starry Sky and use the Starry Sky Crack, let alone herself. In the vast Starry Sky, Longao was the first person to do so. Life and death. Longao's expression grew uglier and uglier. In this situation, there was nothing he could do. What should he do? Let's go. Longao was very clear that staying here would only lead to death. While he could open a space crack and devour the lightning, they would leave immediately. The further they could go, the better. Looking at the dense clouds in the sky, Longao and Bai Jing didn't have the slightest bit of confidence. Fortunately, the two were very fast. After a few minutes, they finally left the lock of the lightning. They let out a long sigh. Longao, thank you. Luckily, you were there. Otherwise, even with the secret realm protecting me, I wouldn't be able to withstand the baptism of the lightning. Longao only gave a soft end sound and did not say anything else. After this incident, he finally understood the difference between the Primal Chaos Tablet and the Secret Realm. They weren't even on the same level. If it was a space ruler who devoured a Primal Chaos Tablet, he wouldn't have to worry about being attacked by lightning. However, a half-step space ruler wouldn't be able to. No wonder Bai Jing was willing to risk her life to get the Primal Chaos Tablet. Regarding what just happened, until now, the two were still terrified. The lightning appeared too suddenly, not giving them any time to prepare. Otherwise, they wouldn't have fallen to such a state. After this incident, Bai Jing didn't want to leave Bai Jing's side. Even though Longao was only a peak space immortal, but whether it was strength or luck, he wasn't someone others could compare to. How could Longao not know what Bai Jing was thinking? He didn't care. Bai Jing, I need your help. Please speak. Longao did not hold back in the slightest, especially under such circumstances. I want to use your secret realm. Bai Jing was not a fool. She instantly understood what Longao meant. If it was before, Bai Jing wouldn't do it even if he was beaten to death. After all, he and the Longao had a grudge against each other. It was good enough that they didn't fight to the death. If he used the secret realm, who knew if the Longao would take advantage of the situation? But now, without even thinking about it, Bai Jing nodded in agreement. Longao was also very surprised, because he did not expect that Bai Jing would agree so quickly. It was really unexpected. Bai Jing was clear about this, and Longao was even more clear about it. If Bai Jing used her own mystic realm to sense the aura of the surrounding mystic realms or primal chaos stone tablets, then Longao could use this opportunity to deal with Bai Jing. It was obvious what the outcome would be. It seemed that Bai Jing had chosen to believe in Longao. From another point of view, Bai Jing's actions were also a gamble. She believed in Longao's character, but this gamble was indeed a little risky. If the Longao was willing, then this was the best opportunity. Both of them were well aware of this, but they didn't say it out loud. Longao, can I start? Seeing that Longao had nodded, Bai Jing no longer hesitated. She immediately activated her secret realm and began to sense. Bai Jing's secret realm floated in front of him, and his face was extremely serious. This was because she was very worried. If Longao really attacked, then she wouldn't even have the chance to regret. If she said that she wasn't afraid, then she would be lying. However, Bai Jing's worries were obviously unnecessary. Longao usually wouldn't do such a thing, especially at such a time. After all, with Longao's current strength, if he wanted to deal with Bai Jing, he could do so openly. Longao didn't want to casually use his attribute-less primal chaos stone tablet, so he was going to let Bai Jing try first. After sensing for a few days, Bai Jing helplessly shook her head and said, Longao, I think we have to think of another way. Just by relying on my mystic realm, I won't be able to sense it. She wasn't surprised at all. Longao had already guessed that this would be the result. If he could sense it just by relying on Bai Jing's secret realm, then it would be too simple. Let me try. Since things had already reached this point, Longao wouldn't continue to hide it. Not to mention Bai Jing, even if the other rulers of the universe knew about this, it wouldn't matter at all. At this moment, the attribute-less primal chaos stone tablet quickly floated out and floated in front of Longao. Looking at the black stone tablet in front of her, Bai Jing was completely shocked. She never would have thought that Longao had really obtained a primal chaos stone tablet. It seemed that the rumors weren't false. When Longao had been in the primal chaos plane, he had obtained 2 primal chaos stone tablets. But Longao himself had said that the 2 tablets he had just obtained had left on their own. At the time, no one had suspected Longao at all. After all, many rulers of the universe had personally examined the tablet. They hadn't thought that Longao would try to cover it up and make it even more conspicuous. If this matter were to spread, it would cause an uproar in the universe. Thinking about it now, Bai Jing felt a lingering fear. Fortunately, she hadn't continued to be enemies with Longao. With Longao's current strength, there was no way she could kill him. In that case, when Longao truly refined the primal chaos stone tablet in the future and became a ruler of the universe, she would probably be an ant-like existence in his eyes. But Bai Jing was very unhappy. The other party clearly had the primal chaos stone tablet, so why did he need to use the secret realm to sense it? But in this situation, Bai Jing definitely wouldn't fall out with him. Bai Jing was very surprised. If he had devoured the primal chaos stone tablet, he wouldn't have casually revealed it. If the other rulers of the universe found out, it would be troublesome. None of the rulers of the universe would be willing to see a new ruler of the universe appear. Bai Jing didn't believe that Longao had chosen to believe her. But Bai Jing had already decided that when he left the mysterious plane, whether or not he obtained the primal chaos stone tablet, he wouldn't reveal this secret. Sometimes, people had to know what to do and what not to do, even if he and Longao had a life and death grudge. Bai Jing waited quietly. Even if Longao used his own primal chaos stone tablet, whether or not he could sense it was still unknown. If it were before, Bai Jing definitely wouldn't have wanted Longao to obtain the primal chaos stone tablet or the secret realm. But now, the situation was completely different. If Longao obtained the secret realm and the primal chaos stone tablet, it would be beneficial to her. Chapter 27-21. The primal chaos stone tablets also had different grades. The primal chaos stone tablets were split into 3 grades. They were high-grade, mid-grade and low-grade primal chaos stone tablet. Longao was almost certain that this attributeless primal chaos stone tablet was a high-grade primal chaos stone tablet. However, before he could control the primal chaos energy, grades were useless. Before, he had relied on the attributeless primal chaos stone tablet. Otherwise, it would be very troublesome. Whether or not he could use the attributeless primal chaos stone tablet to sense the aura of the primal chaos stone tablet or the secret realm, even Longao had no confidence. It was still an unknown. Would he succeed? Time passed by bit. After an unknown amount of time, the attributeless primal chaos stone tablet suddenly disappeared. Following that, Longao's heavy sigh could be heard. Bai Jing felt very helpless. It seemed that not only was he unable to sense the secret realm, even Longao's primal chaos stone tablet was unable to sense it. If that was the case, what was the point of them staying here? Leaving just like that? He was unwilling. After all, if he could obtain the primal chaos stone tablet, he could become a space dominator. The difference between a half-step space dominator and a space dominator was needless to say. They were not even on the same level. Longao, how is it? He shook his head helplessly. Bai Jing, I can tell you now that within this mysterious plane, it is as I guessed. There definitely is a primal chaos stone tablet. As for whether or not there is a secret realm, that is something I do not know. A primal chaos stone tablet? There really was a primal chaos stone tablet? Hearing Longao's words, Bai Jing was completely stunned. He was extremely surprised. He did not have the slightest bit of suspicion, because Longao would not lie to him for no reason. If that was really the case, then even if he had to risk his life, he would obtain a primal chaos stone tablet. Longao, can you sense the specific location of the primal chaos stone tablet? He was somewhat impatient. Bai Jing wanted to immediately obtain the primal chaos stone tablet and go into closed-door cultivation. He would not come out until he refined it. Perhaps he was too excited. He did not notice Longao's serious expression. He did not care at all. Longao naturally knew what a primal chaos stone tablet meant. Even a half-step space dominator like Bai Jing would not be able to resist such a temptation. Moreover, Bai Jing came for the primal chaos stone tablet. He shook his head. Longao's voice was solemn as he said, I can't sense it. Moreover, this place is filled with danger. If we want to obtain the primal chaos tablet, we can't even guarantee our survival. If he couldn't even save it, wouldn't that mean that he was dead for sure? Bai Jing, who was originally very excited, seemed to have been splashed with a basin of cold water. She instantly woke up. I lost my composure just now. Bai Jing was helpless. If it were any other object, he definitely wouldn't be in such a state. But, facing the Chaos Stone Tablet, he had no choice. All these years, the 9 of them had traveled through the countless planes and realms in the vast starry sky for the sake of obtaining a Chaos Stone Tablet. But in the end, after countless years of continuous struggle, they hadn't succeeded even once. It's all right. Longao smiled and said, Bai Jing, forgive me for speaking bluntly, but with the strength of Master God Diviner and the help of the Chaos Stone Tablet, it shouldn't be difficult for them to kill you all. Even if they can't do it, they should be able to forcefully extract the secret realms from your bodies. At this point, Longao didn't continue, but the meaning in his words was very clear. It was impossible for Bai Jing not to understand. Hearing this, Bai Jing sighed deeply. A stone table and 2 stone stools appeared out of thin air. The 2 of them sat down. The 2 of them picked up the cups of water on the table and drank. Leisurely and carefree. Under these circumstances, not only did the 2 of them not think of a way to continue searching for the Chaos Stone Tablet, but they sat down. Their faces were filled with helplessness. After drinking, Bai Jing looked at Longao and said helplessly, Longao, just as you said, if a ruler of the stars wants to kill us or forcefully extract the secret realms from our bodies, it wouldn't be difficult. A half-step ruler of the stars is only slightly stronger than the average person in front of a ruler of the stars. They aren't as powerful as the outside world says. This was the only thing that Longao couldn't figure out. No matter how much he thought about it, he couldn't find an answer. Now that he had Bai Jing's answer, he would soon have an answer. Seeing that Longao didn't speak, Bai Jing continued, when the 9 of us obtained the secret realms, many of the 12 rulers of the stars were extremely dissatisfied. Because, in their view, our appearance had broken the original order of the vast starry sky. They wouldn't allow it, including the half-step rulers of the other peak races. What a ridiculous thing! Longao couldn't figure it out. The rulers of the stars were already the strongest in the vast starry sky. Even if the 9 of them became half-step rulers of the stars, they wouldn't be a threat to their position. The rulers of the stars were completely unnecessary. They had nothing better to do. After thinking about it, Longao already knew the reason. In the end, the rulers of the stars were afraid. If a half-step ruler of the stars obtained the Chaos Stone Tablet, their refining speed would be much faster than others. They just didn't want these people to be a threat to them. Many rulers of the stars didn't want a new ruler of the stars to appear in the vast starry sky. After that, the rulers of the stars prepared to attack us. At that time, something strange happened. The rulers of the stars who were preparing to attack us seemed to be attacked by some force. As for what happened, we don't know. After that, no matter which ruler of the stars it was, they didn't attack us again. Attacked by a mysterious force? It was a little inconceivable. According to Longao's knowledge, the only force that could hurt a ruler of the stars was the Chaos Stone Tablet or the spatial crack. However, even Bai Jing didn't know about it. It seemed that this matter wasn't that simple. Longao had also obtained the secret domain and was very clear about it. However, it was a powerful divine tool after all. It wasn't on the same level as the Chaos Stone Tablet. It was just that after so many years, the secret domain had become a myth. There were even rumors that the rulers of the stars couldn't devour the half-step rulers of the secret domain. It was simply nonsense. Longao, the reason why I'm so anxious to get the Chaos Stone Tablet and the other half-step rulers of the stars is that I'm afraid that the rulers of the stars will attack us. At that time, we won't even have the power to resist. Longao nodded. How could he not know what Bai Jing meant? There was no mercy because the vast starry sky was a place where strength was respected. In the law of man-eat-man, without absolute strength, one could only passively be beaten. Even the half-step rulers of the stars didn't care. This was the cruel reality. No one could change this law and change this reality. Chapter 27-22. Actually, Bai Jing had already guessed what Longao was thinking. There was no other way. No matter what, they would not rest until one of them was dead. Now that they could stand together and not attack, it was already a very good thing. Bai Jing asked himself, if it was him, he would do the same as Longao. He might even go overboard. If it was anyone else, Bai Jing would not be worried at all. At most, he would fight to the death. Only Longao. This variable really made him fearful. There was no need to talk about Longao's luck. Especially the current Longao. Although he was only a peak starry sky immortal, his strength was enough to fight with him. If he really found the primal Chaos Stone Tablet, Bai Jing had no confidence in beating Longao. If that was the case, thinking about this, Bai Jing said, Longao, we don't have to hide anything. I can promise you that if I can get a primal Chaos Stone Tablet, I will not only not fight with you in the future, I will also help you deal with God Mathematician. How about it? Longao laughed. What a naive delusion. Primal Chaos Stone Tablets were not cabbages on the street. Every tablet was incomparably precious. Even a half-step starry sky ruler would want one. Just by helping him and not being his enemy, he could get a primal Chaos Stone Tablet. He was not a fool, why not give it to someone else? Just because Bai Jing was a half-step starry sky ruler? That was complete nonsense. Because in Longao's view, a level 1 starry sky cultivator and a half-step starry sky ruler were no different to him. Plus, with the grudge between him and Bai Jing, there was no way he would give the primal chaos stone tablet to him. Longao was very curious. He did not know what Bai Jing was thinking. A child's mind. If he could really get a primal chaos stone tablet, he could find someone he trusted or someone loyal to him. Why risk giving him an enemy? Seeing Longao not speaking, Bai Jing had already guessed what Longao was thinking. He felt helpless. He could not choose to submit to Longao for the primal chaos stone tablet. It was almost impossible. He greatly desired to obtain the primal chaos stone tablet, but it was impossible for him to submit to anyone for the primal chaos stone tablet, including Longao. Both of them had their own ulterior motives, but they were unwilling to shed all pretenses of cordiality. White Crystal, please speak. Now, Bai Jing's attitude had changed drastically. She was someone who dared to provoke a ruler of space. She was truly admirable. Moreover, the strength that Longao had displayed had already explained everything. What Bai Jing truly feared was the primal chaos tablet in Longao's possession. He didn't know when Longao would refine the primal chaos tablet in his body. Once Longao became a ruler of the universe, killing him would be as easy as flipping his hand. This was the real reason why Bai Jing did not dare to continue provoking Longao. You and I are on different sides, so forgive me for being blunt. Bai Jing didn't say anything. Her intuition told her that what Longao was about to say was definitely not something good. At the very least, it was definitely not a good thing for him. Just as she expected. Bai Jing, I've already said this before. Once we enter the plane, we'll rely on our own abilities. As long as you can obtain the primal chaos tablet, I won't interfere. Won't interfere. Longao's words were especially solemn. Moreover, Longao had already decided in his heart that as long as Bai Jing could obtain the primal chaos tablet on his own, he definitely wouldn't interfere. He thought this, but Bai Jing didn't think this way. If she could obtain the primal chaos tablet, why would she wait until now? As for her own luck and strength, Bai Jing didn't have the slightest bit of confidence, especially in this damned place. This time, she had entered the mysterious plane with Longao in order to borrow Longao's strength and obtain the primal chaos tablet. Bai Jing believed that she had already made a huge concession. No matter how many primal chaos tablets she found, she would only take one. The rest would all be left to Longao. However, Bai Jing was still too naive. Longao couldn't possibly give her any of the primal chaos tablet. This sort of betrayal, Longao had already encountered it more than once. How could he allow it to happen again? From Bai Jing's point of view, this trip to the mysterious plane seemed to be able to obtain many primal chaos tablet. Her expression changed slightly. However, no matter how angry she was, Bai Jing couldn't continue to be enemies with Longao. It was still the same sentence. Ever since she found out that Longao had devoured the primal chaos tablet, Bai Jing didn't even have the slightest intention to be enemies. She wouldn't want to be enemies with someone who was about to become a space ruler unless she was crazy. If this was before, Bai Jing would definitely try to snatch Longao's primal chaos tablet. However, Bai Jing didn't do so now. The main reason was because of Longao's talent and cultivation speed. Although he was only a peak space immortal, his strength was enough to fight against her. He could even fight against 9 half-step space rulers. What made him even more speechless was that Longao possessed a heaven-defying starry sky divine artifact. Even if 9 half-step starry sky rulers joined forces, they still wouldn't be able to lock onto Longao's starry sky divine artifact, let alone him. The space artifact was Longao's true trump card. Continuing to be enemies with Longao at this time was really not a wise move. Submit? That was almost impossible. Besides submitting, Bai Jing could agree to almost anything. He wouldn't even hesitate to hand over the number 1 cosmic empire. However, he knew very well that in front of the primal chaos tablets, even the number 1 cosmic empire wasn't important. Bai Jing also knew that if he didn't submit, Longao wouldn't give him a single primal chaos tablet even if he had 100 primal chaos tablet. He didn't blame Longao. If it were him, he would have made the same choice. What should he do? Longao did not say anything. He was indeed a little tired just now. He could take advantage of this opportunity to have a good rest. Just as Bai Jing had guessed, Longao indeed wanted to do so. It was almost impossible for him to hand over a primal chaos stone tablet for no good reason. Even if Bai Jing chose to submit, it was still unknown whether Longao would agree, let alone now. He didn't even need to think about it. Time passed quickly. Longao, I'm willing to be your friend. In the end, Bai Jing chose to submit. Not to mention Longao, he wasn't even willing to submit to a space ruler. If he had to submit in exchange for a primal chaos tablet, he would rather give it up. Longao already knew what Bai Jing meant. He smiled and said, "You and I aren't friends. You have to be clear about that." Chapter 27-23. Not friends. Hearing this, Bai Jing's expression turned a bit ugly. He had thought that he and Longao were friends, but thinking about it, he had been dreaming. Before, he and Longao had fought to the death. If it hadn't been for Longao's good luck and the fact that he had a space god artifact, Longao would have died at the hands of the 9 of them. Now that Longao was willing to let things go, it was already a blessing in disguise. Friends. He had been dreaming. He sighed deeply. Longao, if you really can get the primal chaos stone tablet, and I want to take it by force? Without waiting for Bai Jing to finish, Longao snorted and said coldly, even if I can't kill you now, when I become the ruler of the universe, or when the seal on the cave is removed, you will die without a doubt. Longao's words were resolute and decisive. Bai Jing of course didn't doubt Longao's words. How could a madman who dared to provoke the ruler of the universe be afraid of him? Longao couldn't be judged by common sense. I'm just saying. Longao's expression was very ugly. He said coldly, don't joke with me. I only joke with friends. Bai Jing, from now on, you and I will go our separate ways. I hope you get the primal chaos stone tablet and leave smoothly. Without waiting for Bai Jing to speak, Longao's figure disappeared. If he said he wasn't angry, he would be lying. But Bai Jing forced himself to endure. Before, they hadn't succeeded in killing Longao. They had already lost the best opportunity. If they wanted to attack now, they would be asking for trouble. Bai Jing wasn't an idiot. Of course he wouldn't do something stupid. Continue to stay? Or choose to leave? Bai Jing knew very well that the current situation was critical. If he left now, there was no danger at all. If he continued to stay, not to mention whether or not he could get the primal chaos stone tablet, he didn't even know whether he would live or die. How should he choose? At this moment, Bai Jing was conflicted to the extreme. He had thought that if he stayed with Longao, he might be able to get the primal chaos stone tablet he wanted. But he never would have thought that Longao would leave by himself. It could be said that he was extremely depressed. At the end of the day, Bai Jing was still afraid of death and didn't dare to venture into a plane alone. Otherwise, just the temptation of the Chaos Stone tablet alone would be enough to make Bai Jing do anything. On one side was the primal Chaos Stone tablet, and on the other was life and death. Bai Jing's expression became increasingly solemn. Longao, who had left, did not care about Bai Jing at all. Just as he had said, he and Bai Jing were not even friends. It was precisely because of this. Longao did not care about Bai Jing's life or death. The only thing he could do was do one thing, and that was if Bai Jing really obtained the primal chaos tablet, he would not snatch it away. The area had already returned to normal, and the lightning from the 9 heavens had disappeared without a trace. Longao was about to step in to see what was going on. And the result? As soon as he stepped into the border of the Earth domain, the 9 heavens were immediately filled with thunderclouds, and terrifying bolts of lightning struck down. My grass! Even Longao couldn't help but curse. He didn't dare to stay any longer and immediately chose to leave. It was very strange. Longao had just left, and the thunderclouds in the 9 heavens disappeared. What happened just now was like a dream. If he hadn't personally experienced it and seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed it even if he was beaten to death. What was going on? Longao tried to step into the border of the Earth domain. It was still the same situation as before. As long as he stepped in, even if it was just a single step, the 9 heavens would instantly gather thunderclouds for 10,000 miles, and thunder would rumble. It seemed like this matter wasn't so simple. If it was anyone else, encountering such a terrifying situation, they would have chosen to leave or think of other methods. Only Longao. Longao was actually not a rash person, because he was very clear in his heart that the area in front of him was definitely not simple. Who knew, there might even be a primal chaos stone tablet within. Could it be a lightning primal chaos stone tablet? Of the 12 primal chaos stone tablets that he had previously obtained, there was a lightning primal chaos stone tablet that had been swallowed by the black wind. If it really was as he guessed, and there was a lightning primal chaos stone tablet within the Earth domain, then that would be wonderful. Longao even believed that the 9 heavens lightning that had appeared before was the lightning primal chaos energy released by the lightning primal chaos stone tablet. Whether or not this was true, he didn't know. Longao was very confident in his own strength, but he also knew his own limit. Even if it was him, once he stepped into the Earth domain, he wouldn't be able to withstand the baptism of the 9 heavens lightning. If he relied on the spatial rift to swallow him, he would only be able to maintain it for a few dozen minutes. After all, the lightning attacks were simply too terrifying. If he couldn't find what he was looking for in a few dozen minutes, and didn't have the strength to continue resisting the 9 heavens lightning, then he would be in big trouble. When the time came, he would probably be struck by lightning until not even a speck of dust remained. What should he do? He gritted his teeth. This time, he had entered the mysterious Earth domain and risked his life, all for the sake of obtaining the primal chaos stone tablet. After all, the cave dwelling had been forcibly sealed, and it was unknown when it would be opened again. He was alone and his strength was weak. There was no way he could fight against Master God Diviner and the others. The only thing he could do was try his best to create a ruler of the stars, and then join forces with him to deal with them. Longao gripped the primal chaos axe and took a deep breath. In the next second, his figure disappeared from where he had been standing. With a whoosh, he stepped into the Earth domain. The 9 heavens lightning clouds filled the sky, and a terrifying bolt of lightning came crashing down. Longao could hack open a spatial rift, and for a few dozen minutes, he didn't have to worry about being swallowed by the lightning. This was because no matter how terrifying the 9 heavens lightning was, it would only be swallowed by the spatial rift. This was the strength of a spatial rift. Longao did not dare to hesitate in the slightest. It was still the same sentence. He only had dozens of minutes. If he missed this time and was unable to leave this area, then things would be very troublesome. At that time, it wouldn't be the spatial rift swallowing the 9 heavens lightning, but him being swallowed by the lightning. If he said he wasn't worried, he would be lying. Longao didn't want to die here. As he brandished the primal chaos axe, Longao released his attributeless primal chaos stone tablet. He hoped to use the attributeless primal chaos stone tablet to sense the primal chaos stone tablet here. Longao's intuition told him that this mysterious Earth domain definitely had a primal chaos stone tablet. He had always trusted his intuition. This was also the reason why Longao was willing to risk his life to step into the lightning region. He even believed that the primal chaos stone tablet that existed in this region was of the lightning attribute. In other words, it was the so-called lightning primal chaos stone tablet. Time passed quickly. There were only 3 minutes left. Chapter 27-24. With only 3 minutes left, it was almost impossible to sense the primal chaos stone tablet. He had to leave this lightning region. Otherwise, once the time limit was exceeded, the consequences would be unimaginable. He was unwilling, but under such circumstances, even if he was unwilling, he could only leave first. He would think of a way later. Longao's speed was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, Longao had already left this region. As soon as he stepped out, the thunderclouds in the 9 heavens instantly disappeared. The surging lightning attacks from earlier also disappeared without a trace. It was as if nothing had happened. The more it was like this, the more Longao felt that this region was not simple. Continue. He would not give up. Longao did not immediately begin because he was very clear on one thing. If he continued aimlessly, he would not be able to lock onto any tablet. He had to have a goal. What should he do? Thinking about it, Longao was prepared to use the attributeless tablet in the Primal Chaos Palace. Apart from that, he could not think of any other way. This time, Longao did not step into the lightning region. Instead, he summoned the attributeless tablet from the Primal Chaos Palace. The attributeless tablet quickly left and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Success depended on this. Just a few minutes after the neutral Primal Chaos stone tablet had left, Longao's expression abruptly changed. He did not dare to be the slightest bit careless. He immediately summoned back the attributeless Primal Chaos stone tablet that he had just left. That's right, he suppressed his primordial spirit, the 9-colored lotus primordial spirit. At this moment, Longao did not know what was happening. Why would his primordial spirit suddenly feel uneasy? Ever since his primordial spirit fused with the 9-colored primordial spirit, it formed a new 9-colored lotus primordial spirit. It was the so-called undying and indestructible. It was truly undying and indestructible. Not to mention the Star Ruler, even the Star Ruler who controlled the power of primal chaos could not truly kill him and destroy his primordial spirit. He forcefully suppressed it. His expression became more and more serious, because Longao discovered that his primordial spirit was about to break out of his body. If that was the case, who knew what the consequences would be? As expected, it was true that whatever he was afraid of would come true. The 9-colored lotus primordial spirit quickly broke out of his body. It only floated in front of Longao for a few seconds before heading towards the lightning region. Ever since the 9-colored lotus primordial spirit left his body, Longao found that he could no longer move. What was going on? Under normal circumstances, not to mention ordinary starry sky cultivators, even starry sky rulers couldn't separate their primordial spirit from their body. At most, they could cover it with their primordial spirit or probe and attack with their primordial spirit. If they hadn't experienced it themselves, they would have found it hard to believe. Whether it was a good thing or a bad thing was still unknown. Could it be that the reason his primordial spirit broke out of his body was related to the lightning field in front of him? His guess should not be wrong. Longao wasn't worried about the 9-colored lotus primordial spirit because he knew what it meant. It was immortal and indestructible. No one could destroy it. Longao was worried about himself. His primordial spirit left his body and his body remained motionless. Longao was very clear in his heart that if he were to encounter an enemy at this time, then he could imagine what the result would be. Not far away, Bai Jing saw the motionless Longao standing outside the lightning region and felt very curious. She didn't know what Longao was doing. Bai Jing didn't leave the plane. For the primordial chaos stone tablet, even if it was a narrow escape, it was worth it. In the blink of an eye. Longao, what are you doing? Bai Jing was almost certain that Longao wouldn't go anywhere else. The only place he could go was the lightning region they had entered before. Because that lightning region was too strange. The stranger it was, the more fishy it was. Perhaps within that lightning region, there was something that they yearned for even in their dreams, the so-called primal chaos stone tablet. Bai Jing had always believed that as long as she followed Longao, she could find the target. If Longao did this, she definitely wouldn't continue to pester him. But for the primordial chaos stone tablet, face didn't matter. What's more, when it came to Longao, whether it was her or the other 8 half-step starry sky rulers, they seemed to have lost a lot of face. For some reason, I am unable to move right now. Help protect me. Longao spoke the truth. He did not conceal anything at all. From how he saw it, rather than being discovered by Bai Jing, it was better for him to say it himself. Whether it was a blessing or a curse, it was up to fate. The current situation was very unfavorable for Longao. Not to mention Bai Jing, even if it was just a grade 1 starry sky cultivator, they could easily destroy him. It would be a lie to say that she wasn't worried. Bai Jing was a little surprised. She didn't think that things would come to this point. In the past, Bai Jing would not hesitate to kill Longao. That way, not only could she kill Longao, but she could also obtain all the treasures and secrets on Longao's body, including the Starry Sky God artifact and the Primordial Chaos Stone Tablet. But now, Bai Jing wouldn't do that. Longao, leave this to me. Bai Jing immediately released her aura, forming a shield around Longao. She guarded Longao as if he was facing a great enemy. Longao was very surprised because he never thought that Bai Jing would really choose to protect him. At this time, if Bai Jing forcefully attacked, even he would not be able to do anything. Moreover, as long as Bai Jing attacked, she would definitely be able to kill him. In this case, even if his primordial spirit could not be destroyed, who knew what would happen? Longao was very grateful to Bai Jing. He felt that this person wasn't completely useless. It wasn't a bad thing to be friends with such a person. As for the Primordial Chaos Stone Tablet, if he couldn't give it to Bai Jing, Longao knew very well that if Bai Jing really swallowed the Primordial Chaos Stone Tablet and turned against him, he would be shooting himself in the foot. He really didn't want to encounter such a situation. Longao, what happened? Why can't you move your body? Of course, Longao wouldn't tell the truth. Under normal circumstances, no matter what level a Starry Sky cultivator was, including a half-step Starry Sky ruler or a Starry Sky ruler, it was impossible for their primordial spirit to leave their body. Not to mention, after the primordial spirit left the body, apart from being unable to move, it was no different from an ordinary person. Even if he told others about this, Bai Jing wouldn't believe him. It was a little unbelievable. Just now I entered this lightning field again, hoping to find some clues, but I found that as soon as I stepped in, I would be attacked by lightning. After 3 times, I was locked on by this lightning field. Chapter 27-25. Without the slightest doubt, Bai Jing had seen the horror of the Thunder region with his own eyes. If he was careless and was swept by the lightning, both Longao and himself would die without a burial place. Longao, what should I do now? Wait. Longao was helpless. Ever since the 9-colored lotus primordial spirit left his body, he couldn't control it at all. In this case, he couldn't even move, let alone do anything else. It could be said that he was extremely depressed. Time flew by. 3 years passed quietly. Bai Jing was also very loyal. For 3 years, he didn't leave Longao's side and guarded him closely. Gradually, Longao began to treat Bai Jing as a friend because Bai Jing had countless opportunities to kill him over the past 3 years, but he still guarded him. The 9-colored lotus primordial spirit still hadn't returned. Longao still didn't know what had happened. But he knew one thing. The longer he delayed, the more disadvantageous it was for him. But in this case, he had no other choice. Longao, why don't I move you first? Regarding Bai Jing's meaning, how could Longao not know? Longao said, You can't move my body. If he moved his body and something happened to the nine-colored lotus primordial spirit, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to help. Bai Jing shrugged helplessly. Until now, he still didn't know what was going on with Longao. Why couldn't he move? Why was he here? Why was he only targeting Longao and not him? This was a little strange. Although he was very curious, Bai Jing didn't ask. Time continued to fly by. 30 years passed quickly once again. For more than 30 years, Longao didn't move at all. His primordial spirit had left his body and he couldn't cultivate. It was a tragedy to the extreme. Brother Bai, I want to ask you for a favor. After more than 30 years of help and conversation, Longao and Bai Jing were now very good friends. The previous grudges could be considered to have been written off. Brother Long, please go ahead. I want to borrow your mystic realm. Alright. In the past, if Longao had made such a request, Bai Jing would definitely not have agreed. No matter what, the mystic realm was more important to her than her life. But now, the situation was completely different. Bai Jing believed in Longao. According to what Longao had said, as long as one could swallow and refine a mystic realm, it would not be so easy to swallow and refine a primal chaos tablet. Longao had already devoured the primal chaos stone tablet. How could he continue devouring his own mystic realm? Furthermore, Bai Jing and Longao were already considered friends. Bai Jing more or less understood Longao's character. What should I do? In fact, Longao's intention was very simple. He wanted to borrow the power of the White Crystal's secret realm to try and sense where his primordial spirit was and what had happened. Up until now, he was still clueless. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't worried. Just at this moment, a nine-colored light shot over. Before Bai Jing could reach it, the nine-colored light had already returned to Longao's body. In an instant, Longao discovered that he could move again. Longao, what is this? It was very shocking, because Bai Jing was unable to sense what exactly the nine-colored light that was coming towards them was. Would something happen if this kind of power entered Longao's body? But looking at the surprised Longao in front of her, Bai Jing finally relaxed. It seemed that the nine-colored light was not only good for Longao, it was even good for him. Without the slightest fear. After breaking through to the half-step starry sky ruler level, Bai Jing understood many things. Everyone's fate was different. This was something that could not be envied. If it was yours, it would always be yours. If it was not yours, no matter how you forced it, it would be useless. Bai Jing, the nine-colored light just now was my primordial spirit. To tell you the truth, since things had already come to this, Longao did not hide anything. He roughly explained everything that had happened more than 30 years ago. After listening to the story, Bai Jing was amazed, because she never expected that Longao would still be alive after his primordial spirit left his body. It was just that he could not move for the time being. This kind of thing was really unheard of. Was this true? Even if she saw it with her own eyes, it was still a little unbelievable. Bai Jing did not know how Longao did it, but she did not ask because she knew that there were some things that she absolutely could not ask. If Longao wanted to tell her, even if she did not ask, Longao would tell her. Bai Jing, I know what you're thinking. In fact, what I want to tell you is that even I don't know what happened before. As for my primordial spirit leaving my body, I can't figure it out either. Bai Jing did not have the slightest doubt and chose to believe Longao because she knew very well that no matter how she thought about it, Longao would not deceive her. As for why Longao's primordial spirit left his body, Bai Jing also could not figure it out because she had never seen such a thing before. Perhaps even a starry sky ruler could not do this. Longao, what should we do now? He shrugged helplessly, because Longao also didn't know what to do. He had just sensed his own 9-colored lotus primordial spirit, and there wasn't the slightest difference. It had disappeared for more than 30 years, and there was no difference from before. "I'll try." Longao's intuition told him that although he did not know why his primordial spirit had left his body, it definitely had something to do with the Thunder Dominion in front of him. He took a step forward. As soon as he stepped into the Thunder Dominion, he did not attract any thunderclouds from the 9 heavens. There was also no rumbling of thunder or lightning. Longao was overjoyed. He finally knew that after his primordial spirit entered the lightning dominion, he could no longer trigger the 9 heavens lightning attack. When his entire body entered the lightning dominion, it was still the same. He did not suffer any lightning attack. Bai Jing was thoroughly shocked because this matter was a bit inconceivable. Not only could Longao's primordial spirit leave his body, but after it returned, Longao was completely immune to the Thunder Dominion. If someone told him that there was nothing fishy about this Thunder Dominion, even if he was beaten to death, he would not believe it. Bai Jing certainly didn't want to miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He also stepped forward, hoping to enter the Thunder Dominion with Longao and search for the Chaos Stone Tablet. But what was the result? Just as Bai Jing stepped into the Thunder Dominion, the 9 heavens filled with thunderclouds. Countless bolts of lightning crazily struck down. The sound of rolling thunder was terrifying. But what left Bai Jing the most speechless was that the 9 heavens' thunder only swept towards him, as if Longao didn't even exist. Bai Jing was well aware that the 9 heavens' thunder did not attack Longao but only him. This was definitely related to Longao's primordial spirit leaving his body. Chapter 27-26. He didn't dare to stay any longer. Bai Jing wasn't willing to be swept by the 9 heavens lightning. If that happened, he would die without a burial ground. He left the lightning region as fast as he could. Bai Jing's expression was helpless. "Brother Long, you should go alone and see what's going on. I'll wait for you here." "Okay." Longao didn't stand on ceremony. After entering the mysterious plane, everything was strange. Who knew what would happen? Bai Jing didn't leave. Instead, he stood outside and waited for Longao. The lightning region was boundless. The lightning region was only a part of the entire mysterious plane. From this, one could imagine how big the mysterious plane was. Longao didn't know what happened to his primordial spirit. Anyway, he was unable to summon the 9 heavens lightning. It could be considered a blessing in disguise. As he walked, he sensed. This time, Longao didn't use the attributeless Chaos Stone Tablet to sense. If it could succeed, he would have succeeded long ago. Why wait until now and not get anything? If he continued to use the Stone Tablet, he would still get nothing. Since he knew the result, why waste time? Without using the Stone Tablet, Longao was prepared to use his primordial spirit to see if he could succeed. The reason why Longao made such a choice was because after his primordial spirit left his body, he wouldn't be able to summon the 9 heavens lightning. Maybe his primordial spirit could help him sense what he wanted. As expected, in a short few minutes, Longao's face lit up. Without hesitation, he followed the direction his primordial spirit sensed and quickly left. Longao's speed was extremely fast. But even so, it took him a few minutes to reach his destination. There was black fog all around. It was very strange. Longao was very clear that when his primordial spirit left his body, it came to this place. As for what happened, he still didn't know. However, Longao could clearly sense that this strange place in front of him was very dangerous. He was different from his primordial spirit. His primordial spirit had already fused with the Chaos 9-colored lotus. It was truly immortal. He believed that even the power of chaos and space cracks wouldn't be able to destroy it. But he was different. Although he could borrow the power of the primordial spirit to achieve immortality, Longao knew that he would still be suppressed or sent into the cycle of reincarnation. He didn't want to be suppressed or sent into the cycle of reincarnation. Better to be safe than sorry. Step by step, Longao didn't want to fall into a state of eternal damnation, especially at this time. His family and empire were waiting for him to save them. Nothing must happen to him. Thinking of this, Longao tried to release his primordial spirit to cover the surroundings to see if he could find anything. His primordial spirit could cover it, but he couldn't sense anything. It was getting stranger and stranger. Right at this moment, the black fog in front of him began to slowly converge, gradually forming a black staircase. What was going on? Longao was very surprised, because he never thought that the black fog in front of him would suddenly form a black staircase. What was inside was still unknown. Enter? Or not? Longao wasn't sure if there was a chaos tablet in the staircase. If there wasn't a chaos tablet, it would be dangerous. Once he stepped in, wouldn't he lose more than he gained? If it were anyone else, including Bai Jing who was waiting outside, they might not dare to casually step into the staircase because it was too strange and they could be destroyed at any time. Only Longao, especially at this moment when the empire was sealed in the cave, couldn't wait for a moment. Thinking of this, Longao didn't continue to hesitate. He took a step forward and disappeared. Since he had already made up his mind, he didn't have any regrets. He would take it one step at a time and deal with whatever came his way. Longao was extremely fast. In a short while, he had already reached the end of the staircase. However, there was a huge stone door at the end of the staircase. Even Longao couldn't open it. He was shocked. Based on his current strength, how could the stone door in front of him block him? What was going on? Looking at the stone door in front of him, Longao was very depressed. Ever since he stepped into this mysterious plane, whether it was the first time or this time, this plane was full of mysteries and strangeness. A small stone door could actually block his crazy attack. If he didn't experience it himself, it would be hard to believe. Longao definitely wouldn't give up. His intuition told him that there must be something he wanted behind the stone door. The stone door had to be broken. Longao wasn't anxious at all because the more it was like this, the calmer he had to be. Impulsiveness could easily lead to bad things. Chaos Act. The only thing Longao could think of was the Chaos Axe. There was no other way. Holding the Chaos Axe in his hand, he used the second axe of the Chaos 9 axes and directly smashed at the stone door. One axe after another, it was continuous. It was like an avalanche. The power of the Chaos Axe was needless to say, but in the end, the stone door still didn't budge. This time, Longao was completely shocked because even the Chaos Axe couldn't break the stone door in front of him. Just thinking about it made him feel a little disappointed. Even the Chaos Axe couldn't break the stone door. Longao really couldn't think of any other way to break the stone door. The more he thought about it, the more serious his face became. He didn't have any way to break the stone door in front of him. What should he do? Time passed quickly. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, Longao's eyes reflected rays of light. He said helplessly, "All this time, I thought that I had to break the stone door by force. I didn't expect that I had already reached a dead end." Primordial Spirit. Longao was depressed to the extreme, because he had been thinking about the dead end. If this continued, not to mention 3 days, even if it was 3 years, he might not be able to break through the stone door, because it was impossible to break through the stone door with just strength. There was only one way to break the stone door, and that was to use his 9-colored lotus primordial spirit. Since his primordial spirit could bring him here, there was no doubt that his primordial spirit could open the stone door. Although this was only Longao's guess, Longao was very confident because for so many years, he had always trusted his intuition. Without any hesitation, Longao took a deep breath and released his primordial spirit. In an instant, it covered the entire stone door in front of him. Success or failure depended on this. Longao had already decided that if even his primordial spirit couldn't open the stone door, then there was no need for him to continue to stay. He could just turn around and leave, because if even his primordial spirit couldn't open the stone door, then there was no point for him to stay. Chapter 27:27. His essence soul covered the stone door. Longao was also very nervous. After all, it was only his guess that his essence soul could open the stone door. As for whether it could be opened, it was really unknown. Gotcha. Just as Longao was waiting, the stone door that had been motionless all this time suddenly opened. He was immediately delighted. Longao didn't hesitate at all. With a stride, his figure disappeared from the spot and disappeared into the stone door. Inside the stone door, it was a huge cave. At a glance, it was as bright as day. He was very shocked. This was because Longao knew very well that if it wasn't for his essence soul, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens for him to find this place. As for others, it was even more impossible for them to come here. It was a very strange cave. Longao didn't dare to be careless at all because no one knew what dangers there were in this cave. If he took a wrong step, he would be afraid that he would be wrong all the time. He didn't take any detours. Especially after the stone door incident, Longao was already certain that the mysterious plane had a lot to do with his essence soul. Essence soul. Everything depended on his 9-colored lotus essence soul. Longao didn't release all of it. Instead, he released a wisp of his essence soul to see if anything strange would happen. There was nothing strange at all. This time, Longao was extremely surprised. He originally thought that the cave would definitely be filled with danger, but he didn't expect that there was nothing strange at all. It was like an ordinary cave that was exceptionally calm. The calmer and more ordinary it was, the more Longao felt that the cave he was in was extremely strange. He didn't dare to act rashly. What's going on? Longao was very curious because after the wisp of essence soul power didn't show any abnormalities, he immediately increased the amount of essence soul power he released. His essence soul covered the entire cave. Gradually, Longao discovered that something was wrong. This was because after his essence soul covered the cave, there were some abnormalities in 9 directions. He was immediately delighted. This was because at this moment, Longao sensed the aura of something in 9 directions. Although it was very weak, Longao was very sure that this aura came from the Chaos Stone Tablet. It was in 9 directions. What kind of concept was that? Didn't that mean that there were 9 primal Chaos Stone Steels within this cave? Is this true? Is this true? Is this true? Longao couldn't suppress the joy and excitement in his heart. This was because he was well aware of what 9 Chaos Stone Tablets meant, especially at this time. 9 Chaos Stone Steels were more than enough to create 9 rulers of the universe. What kind of concept was that? Just thinking about it made him feel excited and excited. Longao had never imagined that there would be a total of 9 Chaos Stone Tablets hidden within this cave. He had originally thought that if he could find 1 or even 2 Chaos Stone Tablets in this mysterious plane, it would already be a great fortune amidst his misfortune. He had to remain calm. It was still the same sentence. The more the situation was like this, the more he couldn't act rashly. Otherwise, things would become very troublesome. Longao wasn't an idiot. Since there were 9 Chaos Stone Tablets hidden here, then this cave definitely wasn't as simple as it looked on the surface. Longao chose a direction and slowly walked over. Perhaps he was overthinking things, but there wasn't any danger at all. Longao had just arrived when his primordial spirit began to violently vibrate. In the next second, not only did Longao's location appear, but in the other 8 locations as well, a black boulder appeared. 9 black boulders. 9 Chaos Stone Tablet. As expected. Sensing it was one thing, but actually seeing it was something else entirely. Seeing the 9 Chaos Stone Tablets in front of him and in the other 8 locations, Longao was overjoyed to the extreme. He was so excited that he couldn't wait to immediately obtain the 9 Chaos Stone Tablet. He tried to approach the Chaos Stone Tablets, but before Longao could even get close, he was attacked by the Chaos Stone Tablet in front of him. Lightning Chaos Stone Tablet. Longao could almost say that in this mysterious plane, strictly speaking, the reason why the lightning field outside was able to attract the lightning of the 9 heavens was because of the 9 Chaos Stone Tablets within this cave. When one Chaos Stone Tablet attacked, the other 8 Chaos Stone Tablets attacked as well. The power of lightning released by the 9 Chaos Stone Tablets was like a spiderweb that covered the entire cave. He was startled. He clearly knew that the Chaos Stone Tablets weren't easy to obtain and that there was definitely danger within. But because he was too anxious, Longao couldn't help but attack. He didn't think about the consequences. The power of lightning released by the 9 Chaos Stone Tablets was clearly the so-called Chaos Lightning power. This was the true Chaos power. If Longao said that he wasn't afraid, then he would be lying. He didn't dare to be careless. The Chaos Axe in Longao's hands quickly struck out, cleaving out a space crack around him. He really could not tell which was stronger between the true chaotic force and the spatial crack. This was because this was the first time he had encountered an attack from chaotic force, so he really did not know if he could block it. What he feared truly came true. The moment the chaotic force and the space crack came into contact, Longao already knew that the extremely powerful space crack was no match for the chaotic force, let alone forcefully devouring the chaotic force. It was simply a fool's dream. It was an impossible thing. If that was the case, then he would be in much more danger. But for some unknown reason, Longao suddenly thought of the primordial spirit within his body. But before he could react, the 9-colored lotus primordial spirit quickly flew out and floated in front of Longao. The 9-colored lotus primordial spirit released 9 different types of light. They were red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, black, and white. The 9 types of light gathered together to form a barrier that directly covered Longao's body. Even the space crack couldn't block the combined attack of the 9 Chaos Stone Tablet. Could his 9-colored lotus primordial spirit really block it? Longao didn't have the slightest bit of confidence. Let alone him, no one would have the confidence to do so. After all, the power of the 9 Chaos Stone Tablets was just too great. Whether he lived or died, it was no longer up to him. Pissed. The boundless power of chaos attacked the 9-colored light barrier, instantly vanishing without a trace. And the 9-colored light just happened to correspond to the 9 Chaos Stone Steels in 9 different directions. Was this a coincidence? Longao knew that this was definitely not a coincidence. There were 9 Chaos Stone Tablets in the cave, and they each occupied 9 different positions. As for his 9-colored lotus primordial spirit, it just so happened that it was a 9-colored light, and each light corresponded to a position. Especially when his primordial spirit had left his body, Longao even suspected that his primordial spirit leaving his body had something to do with the 9 Chaos Stone Tablets around him. After temporarily blocking the attack of the Chaos Stone Tablet, Longao didn't relax in the slightest. Chapter 27-28. What should he do? Continuing like this wasn't a solution. He had entered the mysterious plane for the sake of obtaining the primal Chaos Stone Tablet. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been so bored. Longao's mind was filled with all sorts of ideas. He wanted to see how he could obtain the 9 primal Chaos Stone Tablet. Relying on his primal energy barrier, Longao walked step by step towards the primal Chaos Stone Tablet. The non-elemental primal Chaos Stone Tablet appeared, forcefully suppressing the primal chaos stone tablet in front of him. As expected, previously, when he had subdued the 12 primal chaos stone tablets, he had relied on the non-elemental primal chaos stone tablet. Now, it seemed that he would have to rely on the non-elemental primal chaos stone tablet in order to obtain the 9 primal chaos stone tablet. Several days later, the 9 lightning primal chaos stone tablets had all been obtained by Longao. If he said that he wasn't excited, that would be a lie. This was a total of 9 primal chaos stone tablet. In other words, he could create a total of 9 universe rulers. Xiling and Longchong had 12 primal chaos stone tablet. Adding on the 9 primal chaos stone tablets he himself had 24 universe rulers. As long as he and everyone else refined the primal chaos stone tablets, then in the entire universe, no one would be able to resist him. Right at this moment, suddenly, a black fog appeared from 9 different directions. In the blink of an eye, the black fog transformed into 9 figures. There were men and women, old and young. He wasn't surprised in the slightest. Ever since he had obtained the 9 primal chaos stone tablets, Longao had guessed that the 9 primal chaos stone tablets each had their own master. But if he guessed correctly, the masters of the 9 primal chaos stone tablets had all perished. They had truly perished. But one had to know. Whether it was universe rulers or half-step universe rulers, they weren't truly undying. And even if a universe ruler refined the primal chaos stone tablet and became a universe ruler, he could still perish. The primal chaos stone tablet might leave the body by itself, or it might be forcefully removed. But the chances of this were very small. Every universe ruler was simply too powerful. To kill one was easier said than done. For 9 universe rulers to perish at the same time was a bit of a shock. They seemed to be able to guess what Longao was thinking. The oldest of the 9, the universe ruler, laughed and said, "Congratulations on obtaining the primal chaos stone tablets we left behind. In countless years you are the first one to do so." The 9 of them had truly perished. Now that they could speak, it was only a wisp of remnant soul. Once the remnant soul disappeared, it would disappear forever. "Who are you?" "Ha ha ha, it doesn't matter who we are. Since you've obtained the primal chaos tablets we left behind, then the results of our research must be passed to you. I hope you can continue your research." Research? Research what? Could it be that he was researching the 9 chaos stone steals? Longao's guess was right. The 9 of them did not hide anything and gave a rough account of the situation. This was what happened. Countless years ago, it was probably during the Age of Chaos. In the Primal Chaos era, there were many Starry Sky rulers, at least a few thousand of them. As for Starry Sky rulers who could control Primal Chaos Force, there were very few of them. The 9 of them were no exception. Although they had devoured and refined the Chaos Tablet, they could not control the chaos power within the tablet. It was not just the 9 of them. It was likely that everyone wished they could control the chaos power and become the true ruler of the universe. However, while it was easy to say, it was extremely difficult to actually do it. Hundreds of Starry Sky rulers, or even 1,000 Starry Sky rulers, there might not even be one who could control the chaos power. The 9 of them in front of him were all Starry Sky rulers at the time, and the chaos tablets they had devoured were of the lightning attribute. A total of 9 lightning attribute chaos tablets, and the 9 of them had a good relationship with each other, trusting each other greatly. In order to control the chaos power within the chaos tablets, the 9 of them had boldly attempted to use the 9 lightning chaos tablets to do so. They had researched for many years without any results, but it wasn't as if there was no progress at all. No one knew what had happened in the past, and the 9 of them did not say why. For no reason, thousands of Starry Sky rulers had all disappeared. This was a mystery that no one knew the answer to. The 9 of them did not speak, and Longao did not ask either. This was because Longao knew very well that if the 9 of them wanted to speak, there was no need for him to ask. The 9 of them would speak. If the 9 of them did not wish to speak, then no matter how he asked, they would not speak. Since that was the case, why should he waste time? 9 seniors, I will not disappoint your expectations. From now on, I will do my best to study the 9 chaos tablets, and I hope to control the chaos power as soon as possible. The 9 of them seemed to be very satisfied. The old man continued, wanting to refine a primal chaos tablet is not an easy task, much less studying 9 primal chaos tablets and grasping the primal chaos power within. What did this mean? Longao was no fool. He naturally understood the meaning of the 9's words. If he was not mistaken, the 9 of them were going to give him some benefits. Just thinking about it made him excited. Anything the 9 starry sky rulers gave him would not be ordinary. Longao, I believe you are not unfamiliar with secret realms. Secret realms are the most powerful starry sky divine artifacts in the vast universe, and besides the chaos tablets, they can be used to create half-step starry sky rulers. Apart from you not devouring the secret realms, you can let others devour them. In this way, unless you meet a starry sky ruler, no one in the vast universe will be able to disturb your research. Secret realms, they really were secret realms. Although Longao had already guessed it, he could not help but feel excited when he got the real answer. With a wave of his hand, a total of 100 secret realms appeared in front of Longao. This was a total of 100 secret realms. In other words, as long as he obtained 100 secret realms, he could create 100 half-step starry sky rulers. What kind of concept was this? Longao was thoroughly shocked. Although he had guessed that the 9 of them would give him more than one secret realm, he did not expect them to be so generous, giving him 100 secret realms. It was a little unbelievable. As if he could guess Longao's surprise, the old man smiled and said, Longao, although secret realms are powerful, they are nothing to a starry sky ruler. In the vast universe, there are too many secret realms. These are the ones we deliberately left behind. If it were other starry sky rulers, they would not even look at them. 100 secret realms, just trash. 100 secret realms, just trash? My God, Longao could not help but curse in his heart. Although he did not know what kind of era the Chaos Era was, in this era, secret realms were not easy to obtain. Chapter 27-29. Trying his best to contain the shock in his heart, Longao kept all 100 secret grounds before him. Facing the 9 people before him, he bowed respectfully. Longao will definitely not let you down. With the help of the 9 Chaos Stone Steels, you will definitely figure out how to control the power of chaos. Ha 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 ha. The 9 of them did not say anything more. Following a series of laughter, all 9 of them disappeared. Lin Fan heaved a deep sigh. Longao was clear in his heart that the 9 rulers of the star skies before him had disappeared completely. Even their last remnant souls had disappeared. He did not linger around. Leaving the cave, Longao returned smoothly. Without the 9 Chaos Stone Steels, the thunder clouds did not continue to gather the thunder clouds. In other words, it was not just Longao. Even Bai Jing could step into the thunder region as she wished. That was indeed the case. The moment Longao returned, Bai Jing had already guessed that this young man must have succeeded. There was no envy, jealousy, or hatred. If this were in the past, Bai Jing would definitely have acted like this and snatched it away. But now they were good friends. How could she do that? Brother Long, you succeeded? Thankfully, I did not let you down. Not only was there no envy, jealousy, or hatred, there was even a tinge of surprise and excitement. During this period of time, Bai Jing had slowly thought things through. There were some things that she could not force. Longao treated Bai Jing as a friend as well. Therefore, he did not hide anything from her. This mysterious world was created by the 9 rulers of the star skies back when they were researching the Chaos Stone steels. If not for the fact that my essence spirit had left my body, even I would not have been able to obtain the 9 Chaos Stone steels. It was all due to luck. Longao was right. Luck. A person's luck was way too important. In fact, it was 10,000 times more important than their strength. Looking at Bai Jing again, after hearing Longao's words, she was rooted where she was. Her face was filled with shock and disbelief. It was as though she had just seen a ghost in broad daylight. Was this for real? She did not believe it. Definitely not. However, Bai Jing was very clear that Longao had no reason to lie to her at this time. In other words, Longao must have obtained all 9 Chaos Stone tablets at the same time. There was no doubt about that. 9 Chaos Stone steels. That was a total of 9 Chaos Stone steels. What kind of concept was that? Bai Jing, of course, knew what 9 Chaos Stone tablets meant. If he succeeded in creating 9 space rulers, then even Master Clairvoyant and the others wouldn't be able to compete with Longao. If this was before, seeing that Longao had found 9 Chaos Stone tablets, Bai Jing would definitely have asked for them. But now, White Crystal didn't have it. But what Bai Jing found inconceivable was that he originally thought that Longao would, at most, be able to obtain 1 or 2 Chaos Stone tablets. No matter how lucky he was, 3 Chaos Stone tablets was the limit. The result was Longao had obtained a total of 9 Chaos Stone tablet. It seemed that Longao's luck was quite good. In the entire vast universe, there was no one else with better luck than Longao. Bai Jing chuckled. Once Longao refined the Chaos Stone tablets and created 9 space rulers, she wondered what would happen to Master God Diviner and the others. Bai Jing, I don't want to hide what happened in the cave from you. After Longao briefly explained the matter of the 9 starry sky rulers in the cave, Longao said, "It's easier said than done to control the primal chaos energy. Even the godly mathematician and the others have spent countless years and thought of countless methods, but they have never succeeded." After recovering from her shock, Bai Jing realized that there was a huge difference between mastering the power of chaos and not mastering it. It was a completely different concept. Bai Jing, since you and I are friends, I won't waste words. Bai Jing nodded. Bai Jing was no fool. In her heart, she knew very well that Longao was about to talk about the 9 Chaos Stone tablets, and that it had something to do with her. By now, Longao had already devoured 1 Chaos Stone tablet. Even if he obtained all 9, he wouldn't be able to use them. If the Soaring Dragon Empire hadn't been sealed, there was no doubt that Longao would have taken the 9 Chaos Stone tablets back to the Empire and given them to his family to devour. There was no doubt about that. But now, the situation was clearly different. With the Soaring Dragon Empire sealed, Longao couldn't allow his family to continue devouring the Chaos Stone tablets. If Longao wanted to break the seal and deal with Master God Diviner and the others, he had to find someone to devour the Chaos Stone tablets and become a space ruler. Without question, she was the best choice. After all, she and Longao were no longer enemies, but friends. True friends. As for Longao killing Bai Hua and the others, based on the situation at the time, it was either you die or I die. Longao's actions weren't wrong in the slightest, and Bai Jing wouldn't hold a grudge against him. When she thought about the possibility of obtaining the Chaos Stone tablet, Bai Jing was a little excited. Chaos Stone tablet, that was a Chaos Stone tablet. As long as one could devour the Chaos Stone tablet, they could become a space ruler and become the strongest existence in the vast universe. Even if they couldn't control the power of chaos, it was something they dreamed of obtaining. But what Bai Jing didn't know was that in fact, many people in the Soaring Dragon Empire had already obtained the Chaos Stone tablet. They just hadn't refined them yet. Only a few people in the Soaring Dragon Empire knew about this. It was a little too secretive because Longao knew that if this matter were to spread, it would definitely cause a commotion in the vast universe. When that time came, all the space rulers in the vast universe would definitely join forces to deal with him and the Empire. There was no need to make such a big trouble for himself. The only solution was to let everyone refine the Chaos Stone tablets and become a space ruler as soon as possible. That way, when everyone became a space ruler, even if this matter was leaked, there wouldn't be much to worry about. Coughing, Longao didn't know what to say. If it were an unrelated Chaos Stone tablet, as long as Bai Jing was willing to help him, he could give her a Chaos Stone tablet. But now, the situation was obviously different. The 9 Chaos Stone tablets were all of the lightning attribute. And according to the 9 people, if they wanted to control the power of chaos, they had to study the 9 Chaos Stone tablets together. Not a single one could be missing. It was very possible to obtain the Chaos Stone tablets' power of chaos. Longao wasn't willing to give up so easily because he was very clear about the difference between controlling the power of chaos and not controlling it. So he wanted to give it a try. If he was lucky, he might really be able to borrow the power of the 9 Chaos Stone tablets and control the Chaos Stone tablets' power of chaos. This was the key and also the most difficult thing. Chapter 2730. Are you willing to devour a primal chaos tablet? Brother Long, you must be joking. Bai Jing was helpless. If he said he didn't want to devour a primal chaos tablet, he would be lying. But Bai Jing was no longer the Bai Jing of the past. Because he saw Longao as a good friend, he felt even more embarrassed and didn't know what to say. Primal chaos tablets were different from other things. The value of a primal chaos tablet didn't need to be said. Don't talk about ordinary cultivators, even space rulers wouldn't be able to resist the temptation of a primal chaos tablet. This was the value of a primal chaos tablet. So what if they were friends? How could Longao not know what Bai Jing was thinking in her heart? It was hard to choose. If it was just a secret realm, then there was no need to thank him. He could just give Bai Jing a secret realm. After all, the current him had over 100 secret realms. But the Primal Chaos Tablet was completely different. Even if he had a total of 9 Primal Chaos Tablets, he knew better than anyone what a Primal Chaos Tablet represented. Brother Bai, I believe I don't need to say more about what a Primal Chaos Tablet represents. You should know better than me. Bai Jing nodded. How could he not know what a Primal Chaos Tablet represented? Since that's the case, then I won't be polite. Bai Jing didn't say anything, because he could already guess what Longao wanted to say. There was no free lunch, especially when it came to Primal Chaos Tablet. Even if they were friends, Longao couldn't just give him a Primal Chaos Tablet for no reason. He asked himself, if it was him, would he be willing to give up a Primal Chaos Tablet? The answer was probably no. So no matter what decision Longao made, he wouldn't blame Longao. Brother Bai, I already said that I was asked by someone to study the 9 Primal Chaos Tablet. Because as long as we succeed, we might be able to obtain the Primal Chaos power within. Bai Jing nodded but still didn't say anything. I've already devoured a Primal Chaos Tablet. As for the 9 Primal Chaos Tablets I just obtained, my family won't be able to use them. What did that mean? Bai Jing's eyes lit up. The meaning of Longao's words was already very clear. If he still couldn't understand, then he really had water in his head. You should already know about the matter of the Soaring Dragon Empire. Therefore, I must create my own power as soon as possible. Moreover, it must be the top power. Only then can I break the seal and save my family and even deal with the Oracle. Deal with the Oracle? Against 6 rulers of the stars? If it were the current Bai Jing, she wouldn't have dared to do so. After all, a half-step Starry Sky ruler against a Starry Sky ruler would only result in death. However, if he could devour and refine the Primal Chaos Tablets and become a ruler of the universe, that would be a completely different concept. Not to mention without even mentioning Longao, who had already devoured the primal chaos tablets. The 9 chaos tablets that Longao had obtained alone were enough to create 9 universe rulers. What kind of concept was that? If all of them successfully refined the primal chaos tablets, Longao would have a total of 10 rulers of space. In terms of numbers, they would definitely suppress the Oracle and the others. If Bai Jing knew that in Longao's soaring dragon empire, besides the 2 rulers of the stars, there were a total of 12 people who had devoured the primal chaos tablets, who knew if he would be scared to death. However, Longao naturally wouldn't casually reveal the matter of the empire. It wasn't that he didn't trust Bai Jing, but that this matter could be big or small. If it was leaked, who knew how much trouble it would cause? Brother Bai, if you want to devour the primal chaos tablets, you must choose to submit. Before Longao could finish speaking, Bai Jing had already spoken. Bai Jing was no fool. Of course he could guess what Longao would say next. Again, the primal chaos tablets weren't like anything else. It was already impossible for Longao to be willing to give them to him. If it were anyone else, even if they were willing to submit, Longao might not necessarily be willing to take out a primal chaos tablet. No matter what, a primal chaos tablet could create a ruler of space. In this way, a half-step ruler of space like him wasn't much. It was just that Bai Jing was a little unwilling to submit. Longao smiled. Brother Bai, you don't have to submit. As long as you become my soaring dragon empire's guest elder, you can devour the primal chaos tablets. There's one more thing. Even if you devour the tablet, you have to study the lightning tablet with the 8 people I choose. How about it? Guest elder? Longao was really willing to believe him? Bai Jing knew that Longao was completely choosing to believe him. Even now, he still didn't quite believe him. He didn't know why Longao was doing this. As for Longao, he thought to himself, don't doubt people you use, don't use people you don't doubt. With his primordial spirit out of his body and his body unable to move, Bai Jing had countless chances to deal with him, but she never did. Especially during the time he spent with Bai Jing. He found that Bai Jing was indeed a friend worth making. Anyway, his family was sealed in the cave. It was impossible for his family to continue devouring the primal chaos tablet. The only way was to find 9 people to devour the primal chaos tablets and hope to create 9 rulers of space. This way, not only could they break the seal of the cave, they could even fight against the godly mathematician and the other 5, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Brother Long, I'm willing to become the soaring dragon empire's guest elder. I can also promise that no matter when, I'll always be the guest elder of the soaring dragon empire. I'll be your friend forever. In Longao's opinion, Bai Jing's promise was enough. Without any hesitation, a black primal chaos tablet appeared in front of Longao. He smiled and said, "This is the lightning-type primal chaos tablet. You can devour it here." Being willing to hand it over was one thing. Whether or not Bai Jing could devour it was another. Because it didn't mean that you could devour it just because you got it. Bai Jing also knew this. His expression was both surprised and serious. If he couldn't devour it, then it would really be a pain in the ass. As for the fact that the secret realm couldn't devour the primal chaos tablet, the 9 people had already given Longao the answer. That was wrong. In other words, as long as the devouring method was correct, even if he devoured the secret realm, he could still devour the primal chaos tablet. This was also why Bai Jing didn't need to remove the secret realm when he devoured the primal chaos tablet. Could he successfully devour the primal chaos tablet? Time passed bit by bit. The primal chaos tablet had already been devoured by Bai Jing. As for whether he could successfully devour it, it depended on Bai Jing's luck. Longao couldn't help at all. Sigh. A heavy sigh sounded. Chapter 27:31. He wasn't willing. The primal chaos tablet was right in front of him, but he couldn't devour it, much less refine it. Seeing Bai Jing's expression, Longao knew what had happened. If he wasn't wrong, Bai Jing must have failed to devour the lightning primal chaos tablet. He was helpless, because he had no way of helping Bai Jing with something like devouring the primal chaos tablet. Devouring the primal chaos tablet was up to him. But the only thing worth rejoicing about was that he had found a way. Even if he had to devour the secret realm first, he could also devour the primal chaos tablet. At this moment, Longao was also preparing to devour a secret realm. He hoped that his cultivation level would be able to break through to the half-step space ruler level in the shortest time possible. The only thing he regretted was that, although he had obtained over 100 secret realms, he couldn't let his family devour them. After all, his family had been forcefully sealed. There were gains and losses. Longao didn't continue to think about this problem, because right now the most important thing was to find a reliable person. Whether it was devouring the secret realms or the primal chaos tablet, he had to hurry. Time, to Longao, was simply too important. Brother Long, many thanks. Even though he couldn't devour the primal chaos tablet, Bai Jing didn't complain at all, because he knew very well that Longao being able to do this was already an extremely good thing. If there's a chance in the future, I'll help you find other types of primal chaos tablets. Being unable to devour the lightning primal chaos tablet didn't mean that he couldn't devour other types of primal chaos tablet. Bai Jing smiled and nodded. Brother Long, since it's like this, I'm preparing to return to the Empire. Although I can't help you openly, behind your back. At this point, Bai Jing didn't continue speaking, but the meaning behind his words was very clear. Longao wasn't an idiot. Of course, he knew what Bai Jing meant. Take care. Goodbye. Bai Jing turned and left. In a short while, he had disappeared without a trace. 9 Chaos Stone tablets and over 100 secret realms. If news of this spread, the entire universe would probably go crazy. This was because normally, even a single Chaos Stone tablet or a single secret realm was extremely rare, let alone over 100 secret realms and 9 Chaos Stone tablet. Longao did not hesitate. After devouring the secret territory, he immediately started refining it, hoping to refine it as soon as possible and become a half-step starry sky ruler. What made Longao feel helpless was that although the mystic realm was not as difficult to refine as the Chaos Tablet, it was still difficult to refine. Even Longao wasn't completely confident that he could refine the secret realm in his body and become a half-step starry sky ruler in a short time. As for how long it would take, it was really an unknown. Even Longao did not know. He felt helpless. However, Longao also knew that this kind of thing could not be rushed. They didn't leave the plane immediately because Longao was preparing to seal the plane. The 9 Starry Sky rulers had already told Longao to completely seal the plane after he left. With the help of the 9 Starry Sky rulers, sealing the plane would be easy. Taking a deep breath, facing the plane in front of him, he bowed deeply. After sealing the plane, Longao did not continue to stay. He turned and quickly left. This time, Longao did not look for Bai Jing because he and Bai Jing were no longer enemies, but friends. Since they were friends, he had to think for his friend. Bai Jing was only a half-step Starry Sky ruler. She might be able to fight against other half-step Starry Sky rulers, but to fight against a Starry Sky ruler was like a fool's dream. It was almost impossible. In the current situation, he could only find a reliable person to give away the Mystic Realm and Chaos Stone Tablet. If he could create a Starry Sky ruler or half-step Starry Sky ruler as soon as possible, it would be indescribably beneficial for himself and his empire. It was easy to think about, but difficult to actually do. How could it be so easy to find a suitable and reliable person? It was very helpless. The current situation was obviously very unfavorable to him. He could only take one step at a time and hope that his luck was good. Longao refined the mystic realm in his body while looking for a suitable person, hoping to find a suitable person as soon as possible. As for the candidate, Longao had already thought about it. It was better to find someone who was slightly stronger to devour the Chaos Stone tablets or mystic realms, because the stronger one was faster than the weaker one, unless it was a special situation. It was too hard to find. The matter of the 6 starry sky rulers joining forces to deal with the soaring dragon empire was still a topic of discussion in the vast starry sky. Everyone was still shocked and did not know what Longao had done to provoke the 6 starry sky rulers to deal with him. Now Longao had completely disappeared and did not care about his family. Although many people understood Longao's behavior, they still looked down on Longao. No matter what, the soaring dragon empire was Longao's family. He had chosen to give it up so easily. However, many people still chose to support him. Even if Longao had risen strongly in a short period of time, he was still not a match for the starry sky rulers, not to mention the 6 of them joining forces. Unless Longao wanted to die or had water in his brain, he would not act rashly. Not to mention Longao, he believed that no matter who it was, they would make the same choice. There was a lot of discussion everywhere, but the people left behind by the oracle still did not leave the soaring dragon empire. According to the agreement between the 6 of them, they would guard here for 100 years. If Longao did not return after 100 years, they would choose to leave. Although they chose to leave, the 6 of them were not fools. The 6 of them knew very well that Longao did not return now, not because he was afraid of them, but because he did not want to take the risk. After the 6 of them left, Longao would definitely return. There was no doubt about it. In this case, the 6 of them certainly would not give Longao the slightest chance. The 6 of them had already decided that after the 6 of them left, they would arrange a 6-person barrier in the soaring dragon empire. In this way, even if Longao returned, they would not have the slightest worry. As long as Longao touched the barrier, they would know immediately. At that time, they would rush over and kill Longao in the shortest time possible. In fact, the 6 of them did not know that after Longao knew about this, he had already decided that he would not return at all if he did not have the absolute strength to deal with the 6 of them. On the other hand, the cave mansion being sealed was not a bad thing. In this way, he would not have to worry about the threat of the 6 of them. Chapter 2732. Jianling Mountain. Yun Lu's expression was ugly. Elder Yun He and Elder Yun Tian also had gloomy expressions. The 3 of them never would have imagined that the plan they'd prepared for countless years would fail at a time like this. What failure meant, the 3 of them knew very well. Patriarch, what should we do now? Give up just like that? They were a bit unwilling. But one had to know that they'd prepared for this for countless years and spent countless amounts of blood, sweat, and tears. Yun Lu clenched his fists, his eyes shining. He said resolutely, "No matter what happens, I will not fail. You 2 stay here and guard me. I'm going back to the family." In the vast universe there were 6 peak races. Only the peak mystic race was exceptionally mysterious. No one knew where they came from, including Master Godly Mathematician. Yes? Yun Lu turned and quickly left. Somewhere in the vast universe, Yun Qian felt helpless. Even though she'd already devoured the primal chaos tablet, she had no intention of refining it. She couldn't forget that youth. "Father, you're back." Seeing her father suddenly return, Yun Qian was very curious. She didn't know why he'd suddenly come back. Yun Lu's previously gloomy expression disappeared without a trace when he saw his daughter. He smiled and said, "Qian, since you've already devoured the primal chaos tablet, why don't you go into seclusion to refine it?" How could Yun Lu not know what his daughter was thinking? But could he agree to the 2 of them being together? Longao's talent, courage, strength, and luck were all unparalleled in the universe. Even so, he was still very worried. If he really was soft-hearted, perhaps he'd hurt his daughter and Longao. I'm not in the mood to refine it. Not in the mood to refine it? His daughter wasn't in the mood to refine it? Even though he knew, Yunlu couldn't help but laugh helplessly. The Primal Chaos Tablet was something that countless people in the vast universe dreamed of obtaining. If it were anyone else who obtained the Primal Chaos Tablet, they would likely refine it day and night, because as long as they could refine the Primal Chaos Tablet, they could become the ruler of the universe. Only his daughter. If others knew about this, they'd probably die of jealousy. What a waste. Nothing is more important than refining the Primal Chaos Tablet. Do you understand? He nodded. How could Yun Qian not know about this? However, knowing was one thing and actually doing it was another. Seeing the expression on his daughter's face, Yun Lu already had a rough idea in his heart. You still can't forget him. Yes. She didn't hide anything because Yun Qian was such a person. Since she loved someone, she wouldn't hide anything. Dare to love and dare to hate. He sighed deeply. Looking at his daughter, Yun Lu said helplessly, Qian you should know that there won't be any results between you and him. If the two of you forcefully get together, it won't be a good thing for either of you. In fact, when he said that, Yun Lu did not continue because he knew very well that his daughter would definitely be able to understand the meaning behind his words. Of course, Yun Qian knew, but she couldn't control herself. Emotions were something that couldn't be explained clearly. She had been a genius since she was young and had countless young talents pursuing her. However, she had never taken a fancy to any of them. She only liked this Longao. As for why, even she herself did not know. Love at first sight. Yun Qian clearly knew in her heart that it was impossible for her and Longao to get together. If she forcefully got together with him, the end result wouldn't be a good one. Even so, what could she do? Father, do we really not have a chance at all? Yes. What is it? Hearing her father say that there was a chance, Yun Qian was simply overjoyed because no matter what the method was, as long as she could be together with the person she liked, any sacrifice would be worth it. The more she was like this, the more Yun Lu regretted in his heart. He shouldn't have let his daughter find Longao back then. However, there was no medicine for regret in this world. It was obviously too late to regret now. Now wasn't the time to regret. Qian if you really want to be together with Longao, there are only two ways. Yun Qian wasn't as surprised as she had imagined because she knew very well that the method her father mentioned was definitely not simple. If it was that easy, her father wouldn't be so serious and helpless. She hoped that she and Longao would be able to do it. The first method is that not only does Longao have to devour the Primal Chaos Tablets, but he also has to refine them and become the ruler of the universe. Most importantly, he has to control the power of Primal Chaos. Only then will he have a chance. Difficult, very difficult, extremely difficult. Yun Qian was very confident in Longao. If it was purely devouring and refining the Primal Chaos Tablets, she believed that with Longao's extraordinary talent and cultivation speed, he would definitely be able to accomplish this. Only the last method, which was to control the power of primal chaos within the tablets, was something Yun Qian knew very well. However, Yun Qian didn't blame her father in the slightest. She also knew that if she wanted to be together with Longao, this was a path that had to be taken. The second method. Father. Waving his hand, Yun Lu clearly didn't quite believe him. Let's talk about it after he's done this. Otherwise, everything else is nonsense. Yun Qian seemed to want to say something, but in the end, she restrained herself. Father, did you fail at the Jianling Mountain? At the mention of the Jianling Mountain, Yun Lu's expression finally darkened. However, he still nodded. He didn't hide anything from his daughter. Very helplessly, he said, I could have succeeded. I don't know what went wrong, but no matter what, I won't choose to give up. After so many years of hard work, I must succeed. Father, is there anything I can do to help? Shaking his head, Yunlu smiled and said, You shouldn't be like this. It's all my fault for not knowing the immensity of heaven and earth. This was my mistake, and I shouldn't have involved you. Regardless of whether or not you and Longao can be together in the future, I still have to give you a piece of advice. If you want to be together, you must first become strong. Otherwise, everything will be in vain, understand? I know what to do. Yun Qian still didn't continue refining the tablet. Instead, she stood up and quickly left. From beginning to end, Yun Lu didn't stop his daughter because he knew very well what she wanted to do. Chapter 27:33. At this moment, it was easier said than done for Yun Qian to find Longao. Longao was wandering around, hoping that he would be lucky enough to find the right person to devour the secret realms and chaos tablets. The sooner he devoured them, the better it would be for him. It was easy to think about it, but it was very difficult to find them. Longao? Looking at the woman who suddenly appeared in front of him, Longao's body trembled. Song Lin's face was still pale. It was obvious that her injuries hadn't healed, but after thinking about it, he understood. With her own strength, Song Lin had restored the array and sealed the entrance of the passageway. It was already a blessing that she did not die immediately. Where did you go? Longao knew what Song Lin was thinking. It was because of this that he didn't stop her from leaving. However, Song Lin was his. Whether it was before, now, or in the future, this was a fact that couldn't be changed. Come with me. Longao didn't hesitate in the slightest and quickly followed Song Lin. In a very hidden low-level plane. In a courtyard. Song Lin coughed and her face became uglier. Longao was distressed and worried. He grabbed Song Lin's hand and asked worriedly, How are your injuries? Song Lin didn't dodge. Instead, she smiled and said, I'm fine. Because my injuries are too serious, I need a long time to recover. So when the Soaring Dragon Empire was attacked by 6 people, I didn't have the ability to save them. What did this mean? Longao wasn't a fool. Of course, he understood the meaning behind Song Lin's words. There was no doubt that Song Lin originally wanted to help. If it was before, her strength alone was enough to contend against 6 star rulers. But now, she couldn't. The reason was simple. Song Lin's injuries were very serious. Not to mention 1 against 6, even in a one-on-one situation, she wasn't a match for any of them. If she forced herself to help, there was only one result. She would be suppressed. Before Longao could speak, Song Lin continued in a low voice, If Xiling and Long Chong don't seal the cave, I will help. Thank you. As for the grudge between Master God Diviner and the others, that was a matter for the future. Thankfully, the clan was fine. There's no need to thank me. Song Lin, now that things have come to this, are you still going to hide it from me? Song Lin naturally knew what Longao was referring to. She helplessly shook her head and said, Now is not the time to tell you. Then when can you tell me? Longao didn't force her because he knew very well that if Song Lin wanted to tell him, there was no need for him to ask. He believed that Song Lin would tell him herself. If Song Lin felt that the time wasn't right, then it would be futile even if he asked 1,000 times. Since that was the case, there was no need for him to make such an unnecessary move and force him. How could Song Lin not know what Longao was thinking? He was very grateful. When you refine the Chaos Tablet in your body and become the ruler of the stars, I will tell you everything. After refining the Primal Chaos Tablet, he would become the ruler of the universe. It was too difficult. Longao clenched his fists. How could he not know that Song Lin's identity wasn't simple? Under normal circumstances, since Song Lin was the ruler of the universe and had mastered the power of chaos, She should be the most powerful existence in the entire universe. Even Master God Diviner and the others couldn't compete with her. But now? Song Lin had a lot of difficulties. According to this situation, it could only mean one thing. The power behind Song Lin was too powerful. I will refine the primal chaos tablet in the shortest time possible and become the ruler of the universe. If anyone else dared to say this, Song Lin could only smile. After all, refining the primal chaos tablet wasn't just a matter of saying or thinking. If it was so easy, there wouldn't be so few rulers in the vast universe. But looking at the person she loved, Song Lin didn't have the slightest doubt. I'll wait for you. Where are you going now? I called you here this time to tell you that the Soaring Dragon Empire is fine for the time being, but I also want to tell you something. My injuries are too serious. Even with the power of chaos, it won't be easy to fully recover. He nodded. Of course, Longao knew what Song Lin was talking about. He didn't say anything and just listened quietly. I'm going to leave for a while. When I come back, if nothing unexpected happens, my injuries should be fully healed. At that time, I can help you deal with the Divine Mathematician and the others and break the seal of the cave mansion. Song Lin didn't tell Longao that even now, she had a way to break the seal of the cave mansion. But Song Lin knew very well that breaking the seal at this time wouldn't benefit the Soaring Dragon Empire in the slightest. It might even be a disaster. As for dealing with the Divine Mathematician and the others, now was obviously not the time. Because her injuries were too serious, the most important thing was to find a way to recover. Only then could she help Longao with all her strength. How long? Longao didn't even ask where Song Lin was going. I don't know. Can you wait for me? Nodding, Longao pulled Song Lin to sit down and said, I won't make you wait too long. I will also refine the primal chaos tablet in the shortest time possible. At that time, I will be with you. No one can separate us. Seeing the determination on Longao's face, Song Lin smiled. Save tens of thousands of words here. Matters between men and women. The next day, Song Lin left reluctantly. But the two knew very well that a temporary departure wasn't a bad thing. It would make it easier for them to be together in the future. Low-level plain, inside a courtyard. Longao sat quietly by himself. Song Lin's departure seemed to be a big blow to him. He originally thought that after breaking through to the Starry Sky Immortal Realm, as long as he could refine a secret realm or even a primal chaos tablet, he could reach the peak of the martial path. But he didn't expect that he couldn't even protect the person he loved. All of this could be blamed on his own strength. If he was the ruler of the stars, and one who controlled the power of primal chaos, Song Lin wouldn't have had to endure all this alone. At this moment, Longao urgently needed strength. 9 primal chaos tablets and 99 secret realms. Longao had previously devoured a secret realm, so the two made a total of 108. Because of this, Longao was preparing to create 2 trump cards. They were the heavenly spirits and earthly fiends, the so-called 72 heavenly spirits and 36 earthly fiends. Longao didn't continue to dwell on Song Lin's matter because he knew that if he wanted to be with Song Lin, the most important thing was to have enough strength. Everything else was just nonsense. Standing up, Longao's eyes burst out with rays of light. Chapter 2734. Azura Realm. In the vast starry sky there were countless realms, and in the Azura Realm, all the planes were very special. The reason for that was because the people who were able to survive here were all very valiant and powerful people. The Azura Realm was different from other realms. If it was other realms, who knew how many planes existed side by side? But the Azura Realm was different, because there were only 10 planes in the entire Azura Realm, and all of them stood in the Azura Realm at the same time. The distribution of power was very evenly distributed. In the vast starry sky, including the 9 great starry sky empires. No one looked down on the Azura realm. Even if the Azura realm only had 10 planes, it was still the same sentence. The 10 planes of the Azura realm, no matter which one it was, were all very powerful, and their strength was generally higher. Longao thought about it and finally chose the 10 planes of the Azura realm. The reason was simple. If he wanted to create a half-step starry sky ruler or starry sky ruler in the shortest time, he had to choose stronger starry sky cultivators. Starting was very important. If it was any other time, Longao would definitely choose slowly, but the situation was completely different. Time did not allow him to take it slowly. After stepping into the Azura realm, Longao had changed his appearance slightly, so it was very difficult for people to recognize him. The Azura world had a total of 10 planes. They were the first Azura plane, second Azura plane, third Azura plane, fourth Azura plane, fifth Azura plane, sixth Azura plane, seventh Azura plane, eighth Azura plane, ninth and 10th Azura planes. Longao had 9 Chaos Stone tablets and 99 secret realms, so he needed a total of 108 people. In other words, he needed 72 heavenly spirits and 36 earthly spirit. The first Azura realm. Longao stepped into the first Azura realm and had a simple understanding of the situation. The first Azura realm had countless powers, but the 2 most powerful ones were the Sword Sect and the Saber Sect. Without a doubt, everyone in the Sword Sect, from the master to the most ordinary outer sect disciple, practiced the sword, and the highest level was one with the sword. Everyone in the Saber School, from the master to the most ordinary outer sect disciple, cultivated the saber. Moreover, the highest level they could achieve was the one with the saber. There were all sorts of strange things in the vast starry sky. Whether it was Sword Sect or Blade Sect, the strongest was a space undying. Not to mention the first Azura plane, even the other 8 planes didn't have a single peak starry sky undying. Longao had made up his mind. The 9 people chosen from the 9 primal Chaos Stone tablets would all devour the primal Chaos Stone tablets. Moreover, each of them would lead 11 people, and these 11 people would devour the mystic realms. Sword Sect. Outer Sect disciple Yifei Luo, whose cultivation had just broken through to Grade 2 Starry Sky Cultivator, did not even have a shred of status within the so-called Sword Sect. But you have to know, the 10 great planes of the Azura realm were all so-called high-grade planes. A Grade 2 Starry Sky Cultivator, if placed in a normal plane, such as the Sky Martial plane, would probably be the strongest warrior. But in the first Azura plane, the Sword Sect, a Grade 2 Starry Sky Cultivator was nothing. Not only that, Yifei Luo was not only weak, but also had no background. Because of this, Yifei Luo had been bullied for a long time. If he said he wasn't angry, he would be lying. On top of a lonely and abandoned mountain peak, Yifei Luo sat on top of the mountain peak in disappointment, looking at the endless void in the distance, letting the breeze blow by. He sighed deeply. With limited talent, no matter how hard he worked, he still couldn't break through. As long as his strength didn't increase, he wouldn't be able to become an inner sect disciple, allowing others to bully him. To live like this, I might as well jump down from here and die. So boring. You think death is just to be free? Yifei Luo, who was feeling depressed, suddenly heard a voice behind him. He was startled and immediately turned around, only to see a young man who had appeared out of nowhere. Who are you? The person who suddenly appeared was none other than Longao. When Longao stepped into the first Azura plane, he directly chose people from the Sword Sect and the Saber Sect. He originally wanted to choose people with strong strength, but in the end, he chose to give up. Character, temperament, talent, hard work, persistence, none of these could be missing. Talent and strength alone were far from enough. Who I am is not important. You're Yifei Luo? Longao had been paying attention to this kid for a long time. This kid's talent wasn't very strong, but his hard work, persistence, and temperament were the best. This kind of person was the most suitable. Senior, I am. Yi-Fei Luo wasn't a fool. He could clearly feel that the young man in front of him might be very strong. Maybe he was a grade 8 starry sky cultivator, or even a grade 9 starry sky cultivator. This kind of powerhouse was far from what he could compare to. Moreover, he could also feel that the young man in front of him didn't have any hostility towards him. He didn't waste any time, because time was too important for Longao. Leave the sword sect and become my subordinate, are you willing? Huh? Hearing the words of the young man in front of him, Yi-Fei Luo was completely shocked, because he never thought that the young man in front of him would be like this. Leaving the sword sect, even if he was an outer sect disciple, once this matter was known by the sword sect, it would be considered a disgraceful act. At that time, he would most likely fall into eternal damnation. However, Yi-Fei Luo wasn't a fool. If the other party dared to say such a thing, then it definitely wasn't that simple. After thinking for a bit, he asked, "What can Senior give me?" Very satisfied, Longao smiled and said, "Everything you want." How arrogant, but Yi-Fei Luo didn't have the slightest bit of disdain. Since he dared to say such a thing, it meant that this person wasn't simple. Staying in the sword sect was the end of his life, so there wasn't much point in continuing. Perhaps this was his chance. If he chose to give it up so easily, he wouldn't even have the chance to regret it. "I'm willing." Gritting his teeth, Yi-Fei Luo didn't have any lingering feelings towards the sword sect. Otherwise, he wouldn't have agreed so quickly. On the contrary, he had been humiliated countless times in the sword sect, and no one cared about him. Such a sect, he didn't want to stay any longer. "Come with me, Senior. Can I return to the sword sect for a bit?" How could Longao not understand Yi-Fei Luo's intention? He didn't blame or get angry. Instead, he admired Yi-Fei Luo. Nodding, Longao's figure instantly disappeared. Yi-Fei Luo was shocked, because the young man in front of him was simply too fast. Without hesitation, Yi-Fei Luo headed towards the sword sect. The sword sect was located on top of the sword peak. It stretched for several miles, and at first glance, it was very shocking. It gave people the feeling of a sharp sword piercing through the 9 heavens. Chapter 27:35. Sometimes, Yi-Fei Luo didn't want to go back to the sword sect at all, because in the sword sect, not only was he unable to cultivate in peace, he was also constantly bullied. Very angry. It could be said that Yi-Fei Luo didn't have any feelings for the sword sect. Whether it was an inner or outer sect disciple, it was almost impossible for them to leave the sword sect. The sword sect wouldn't allow such a thing to happen. As for leaving the sect, there was only one way, and that was to be expelled from the sword sect. Expelled from the sect? Of course, it was no problem to expel from the sect, but to face the wrath of the sword sect, no normal person would dare to do that. The outer sect elder was a fat man, a snobbish person, and he didn't like Yi-Fei Luo very much. "Elder Chen, I want to expel from the sect." Elder Chen, whose face was full of mockery, was shocked when he heard Yi-Fei Luo's words. "Are you out of your mind?" Elder Chen didn't know what happened to this trash, to have the guts to say that he wants to expel from the sect. What a reckless person. He wasn't angry at all. As an outer sect elder, Elder Chen was a level 9 starry sky cultivator. As long as he wanted to, he could deal with Yi-Fei Luo at any time. "Elder Chen, I don't want to stay in the sword sect anymore. I've found a better place to go. Please understand." "I understand your sister. Get out of here. I don't agree with this, otherwise, I'll have to execute you on the spot." Elder Chen didn't care about Yi-Fei Luo. After all, there were too many outer sect disciples like Yi-Fei Luo in the sword sect. First, if Yi-Fei Luo really left, he would lose face. No matter what, Yi-Fei Luo had always been under his control. Second, if he let Yi Fei Luo go, he wouldn't be able to explain it to the sect. Although an outer sect disciple was nothing in the sect's eyes, but to expel from the sect was something that had never happened in the history of the Sword Sect. Get out. Seeing that Yi Fei Luo didn't leave, Elder Chen was completely angry. She didn't know if he was confused by anger. Normally, Yi Fei Luo wouldn't have dared to do this. Elder Chen, I hope you can promise me this time. Elder Chen did not even give Yi Fei Luo a chance to speak as he sent a kick straight at him. How could a Grade 2 Starry Sky cultivator fight against a Grade 9 Starry Sky cultivator? He didn't even have the chance to react. He groaned. Immediately after, Yi Fei Luo was like a kite with a broken string. He was sent flying backward and landed heavily on the ground. If you don't scram, I'll take your life. Elder Chen was completely enraged. He couldn't figure out what was going on with Yi Fei Luo. Why would he want to leave the sect all of a sudden? Could it be that he had had enough of the humiliation? It shouldn't be possible. What was going on? Yi Fei Luo struggled to get up from the ground and wiped the blood off his mouth. This wasn't the first time something like this happened, so he was already used to it. If it was in the past, Yi Fei Luo would definitely leave quietly and take it as if nothing had happened. But now, ever since Yi Fei Luo met that mysterious expert, his heart had changed greatly. He stared coldly at Elder Chen in front of him. Why do I have to be humiliated? Even if my talent is limited, even if I'm weak, even if I'm just an outer sect disciple, there's one fact that can't be changed. That is, I'll always be a member of the Sword Sect. If that's the case, why do I have to be humiliated all the time in the Sword Sect? Resentment, anger, unwillingness. Seeing Yi Fei Luo standing up, Elder Chen seemed a little surprised. He finally sensed that Yi Fei Luo was indeed a little different at this moment. However, he still didn't put Yi Fei Luo in his eyes. What a joke. He was just an outer sect disciple and a Grade 2 Starry Sky cultivator. Even if he killed him, the sect wouldn't blame him. Thinking of this, Elder Chen's face finally revealed a murderous look. I'll say it one last time. Get out of here, or I'll kill you. What a good kill without mercy. Looking at the young man who appeared out of thin air in front of him, Elder Chen was shocked. Because from the beginning to the end, he didn't sense the young man's aura. Who are you? How dare you trespass into the Sword Sect? Elder Chen was sure that the young man in front of him was definitely not a member of the Sword Sect. Thinking of Yi Fei Luo's strange behavior today, he was almost certain that Yi Fei Luo's decision to leave the sect had something to do with this person. He chose to ignore it. Longao looked at Yi Fei Luo next to him and said, "Now you know what the Sword Sect means to you. Without strength, not to mention the Sword Sect, no matter where you go, you will be treated like this. Do you understand?" Longao had been here for a long time, but he didn't do anything. Even when Yi Fei Luo was almost killed, he still didn't do anything. The reason was simple. He wanted Yi Fei Luo to know how cruel this world was. Without strength, not only would you be bullied, you might even lose your life. Nodding heavily, after so many years of humiliation, at this moment, Yi Fei Luo's anger and unwillingness to leave the Sword Sect and follow this mysterious master became more and more determined. His intuition told him that what the Sword Sect couldn't give him, this mysterious master might be able to give him. I have to seize this chance. Senior. Kill him before Yi Fei Luo could say anything. Longao already cut him off. Of course, Yi Fei Luo wanted to kill Elder Chen. Not only had Elder Chen bullied him for so many years, Elder Chen had almost killed him just now. However, Yi Fei Luo knew his limits. With his strength alone, it was impossible for him to be a match for Elder Chen. Not to mention, this was the Sword Sect. If anything happened to Elder Chen, then he and his senior wouldn't be able to escape. How could Longao not know what Yi Fei Luo was thinking? Kill! Longao didn't care if the other party was from the sword sect or not. After so many years of life and death experience, he already understood one thing. Sometimes you have to be ruthless, otherwise, you'll be letting the tiger return to the mountain and leave behind future troubles. Longao of course knew that with Yi Fei Luo's strength alone, he wouldn't be able to kill Elder Chen, but with him here, the impossible could become possible. In the next second, Yi Fei Luo suddenly found that his body was filled with experience, even when facing Elder Chen, who was already a starry sky cultivator. He could still easily kill him. Is this real? Even if he experienced it himself, Yi Fei Luo still couldn't believe it. After all, it was a bit unbelievable. Elder Chen was completely shocked. Of course he could sense that this young man in front of him was definitely not simple. Chapter 2736. It would be a lie if he said he wasn't afraid. But then again, this was still the sword sect. Even if the opponent was strong, he was probably just trying to scare him. If he wanted to kill him, he had to give face to the Buddha. The sword sect, one of the two great powers in the first Azura plane. What was he afraid of? Even if the opponent was strong, they couldn't be stronger than the sword sect. He despised himself. Thinking so, Elder Chen pretended to be calm and said coldly, "Yi Fei Luo, you dare to betray the sect, you know the consequences of doing so." Without waiting for Yi Fei Luo to speak, Elder Chen continued, "If you surrender now, I can ask the sect to spare your life, otherwise, humph." Longao cut him off and said, "Being kind to the enemy is being cruel to yourself. Being kind to the enemy is being cruel to yourself." All of a sudden, Yi Fei Luo's eyes lit up. He couldn't help but admit that Longao's pressure was very effective. "Kill! You! Before Elder Chen could even finish his words, his body had already slowly fallen to the ground. "Master, what should we do now?" "Master?" Hearing Yi Fei Luo call him master, Longao frowned. He didn't like this title. After all, Yi Fei Luo was the first person he found, and the one who devoured the Chaos Tablet. The heavenly spirits and earthly fiends were redistributed. All 9 heavenly spirits devoured Chaos Tablets, and each person led a team, the so-called 11 people, and each team of 11 people devoured secret realms. The team leader devoured Chaos Tablets to become a ruler of stars. The team members devoured secret realms to become half-step rulers of stars. Without a doubt, Yi Fei Luo would be the first of the 9 heavenly spirits. Because of this, Longao valued him a lot. He didn't care. Kneeling on the ground, Yi Fei Luo's attitude was as respectful as it could be. Even though Yi Fei Luo's talent was limited and his strength wasn't high, he wasn't an idiot. To be able to kill Elder Chen so easily just by lending him his strength, it was hard to imagine how strong this mysterious expert in front of him was. It was still the same saying. The opportunity was right in front of them, so they had to seize it. Otherwise, they wouldn't even have the chance to regret. "I don't care who my master is. All I know is that from now on, I will stay by my master's side and never leave him." Yi Fei Luo swore before Longao could even react. He didn't stop them at all. The primal chaos stone tablets were no trifling matter. Every single one of them could not be ignored. Blood oaths and loyalty were what Longao valued the most. "Get up." Yi Fei Luo stood up and asked softly, "Master, what should we do now?" Yi Fei Luo was very smart. He didn't ask for Longao's name from the beginning to the end. This was because he knew very well that if his master was willing to tell him, then he wouldn't need to ask. He believed that his master would tell him. If his master wasn't willing to tell him, then even if he asked, his master wouldn't tell him. Since that was the case, there was no need for him to look for trouble. "Fei Luo, I need people right now. Loyalty is the most important thing. Do you have anyone in mind?" Yi Fei Luo didn't think that his master would need people. After thinking for a while, he answered, I only have one friend in the sword sect. He's a bit stronger than me, having already broken through to become a level 3 starry sky cultivator. However, our situations are about the same. At this point, Yifei Luo felt a deep sense of helplessness, because in the sword sect, whether it was a level 2 or level 3 starry sky cultivator, their status in the sword sect was about the same. However, the two of them were quite pitiful. In the end, it was because they didn't have any backing. Outer sect disciples with backing, even if they were only level 1 starry sky cultivators, no one would dare to bully them. Longao didn't ask any more questions. Since Yifei Luo was friends with this person, there shouldn't be any problems with his identity. Take me there. Master, Elder Chen. Don't care about him. Longao didn't even bother to get rid of the corpse, because in his opinion, in the vast universe, strength was everything. Without strength, no matter where you go, you'll be beaten up. However, if you have strength, then no matter what you do, you won't go overboard. The strongest person in the sword sect was only a starry sky immortal. With Longao's current strength, not to mention instantly killing a starry sky immortal, even a peak starry sky immortal could be easily destroyed. Humph, you only know how to bully me. When I become strong one day, I'll show you who's boss. Brother, I'm here. Looking at the two people who suddenly appeared, Tang Hao was very surprised. However, in the sword sect, Yifei Luo was his only friend. He smiled and said, Lil Yi, you came to me at this time, are you afraid that Elder Chen will cause trouble for you? Elder Chen? The matter of Elder Chen's death, probably no one in the sword sect knew about it. Elder Chen will never cause trouble for me again. What does that mean? Tang Hao didn't react because he didn't think that his good friend would kill Elder Chen. After all, Elder Chen was a level 9 starry sky cultivator, especially in the sword sect. Kid, you're joking with me again. I'm not joking with you. I killed Elder Chen. Yifei Luo didn't hide anything from this good friend of his. Even though he knew what kind of consequences it would bring if this matter was leaked out, he still had to face it. Ha 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 ha, don't joke around. Tang Hao of course didn't believe it. What kind of joke was this? Elder Chen's strength and his friend's strength were not on the same level. He wouldn't believe that Yifei Luo could kill Elder Chen even if he was beaten to death. However, looking at Yifei Luo's expression, Tang Hao didn't know why, but he had a premonition that what Yifei Luo just said seemed to be true, especially when there was a stranger standing next to him. Lil Yi, are you telling the truth? I don't need to lie to you. This is my master. Not only did I kill Elder Chen, I also expelled the sword sect. From now on, I will follow my master. Tang Hao was completely shocked because he didn't think that things would develop to this point. Although they were bullied in the market, under the protection of the sword sect, they still had a lot of face outside. But Yifei Luo expelled the sword sect and even killed Elder Chen. It was obvious what it meant. Is this friend of mine crazy? Lil Yi, are you sure that everything you did was right? You should know the consequences of doing this. Since I've already done it, I won't regret it. I came to find you this time to ask you, are you willing to follow my master and leave the sword sect? Yifei Luo didn't continue to talk nonsense because he knew the current situation. Chapter 2737. Leave the sect? Is this a joke? Tang Hao was almost scared to death when he heard his good friend ask him to leave the sect. He knew very well what it meant to leave the sect. Once he left the sect, he would be hunted down endlessly by the sword sect. Only death awaited him. Lil Yi, don't be rash. Listen to me. Are you willing to? Yifei Luo didn't give Tang Hao a chance to continue, because he didn't want to waste any more time. What can I get? Everything you want. Longao, who had been silent all this time, suddenly spoke. Tang Hao didn't know why, but when he looked at the young man beside his good friend, he felt a sense of blind trust. Although Yi Feiluo didn't say it clearly, Tang Hao could guess that Yi Feiluo was able to kill Elder Chen not because of his strength, but because of the young man in front of him. Join? Or give up? Tang Hao of course knew the pros and cons. If he made a wrong move, he would definitely be hunted down by the sword sect and die without a burial place. If he made the right move, he might be able to turn things around. Whether it was Longao or Yi Feiluo, they didn't rush him at all. Especially Longao, he didn't underestimate Tang Hao just because he was weak. Talent and strength were no longer important to Longao. Before, these two were the most important, but now they were definitely not. Loyalty, perseverance, hard work, these were the most important things, far above talent and strength. Time passed by little. No one knew how much time had passed. Tang Hao finally raised his head, looked at the two people in front of him, and said, "Lil Yer, I'm willing to follow Master with you from now on." Hearing this, Yi Feiluo laughed, and so did Longao. "Betraying the sect, do you think you can leave? Master?" Looking at the hundreds of people in front of them, whether it was Tang Hao or Yi Feiluo, they didn't know what to do. Sword Sect Master Du Miao was a starry sky immortal, and also the strongest person in the Sword Sect. Du Miao's face was very gloomy because he never thought that someone would dare to provoke the Sword Sect. Such a thing had never happened before. "Who are you?" He chose to ignore Yi Feiluo and Tang Hao, because in Du Miao's eyes, the two of them were just two ants. If he wanted to, he could easily crush the two of them at any moment. Under normal circumstances, the two of them were just outer sect disciples of the Sword Sect, so it made no difference whether they were or not. However, the two of them had openly killed an elder of the Sword Sect and betrayed the Sword Sect. If news of this were to spread, where would the Sword Sect's reputation go? "What does that have to do with you?" Crazy. He had seen arrogant people before, but he had never seen such an arrogant person. Moreover, this was the Sword Sect, Du Miao's territory. Du Miao and the other elders didn't have the slightest bit of impulse. Although they were angry, they knew very well that the other party dared to be so arrogant. Either he was strong, or he had water in his head. Looking at the young man in front of him, no matter how he looked at him, it didn't seem like there was anything wrong with his brain. "Who are you? Why have you come looking for trouble with the Sword Sect?" Du Miao was almost certain that the young man in front of him was doing this on purpose, because in his eyes, the other party was strong enough that there was no need to provoke the Sword Sect for two outer sect disciples. The two outer sect disciples were not important. From the beginning to the end, neither Yi Feiluo nor Tang Hao spoke a word. Although the two of them had already chosen to submit to Longao, they didn't know how strong this mysterious expert was. As for the master of the Sword Sect, the two of them knew a lot. This person was a legend in the Sword Sect, the #1 expert of the Sword Sect. Not to mention this plane, even in the entire Shura realm, or even the entire galaxy, he was a super expert. That was indeed the case. "I came here this time mainly for the two of them. Since they have already chosen to become independent members of the Sword Sect, then from now on, they are no longer members of the Sword Sect." "With just you?" Even if they were afraid, the situation had already turned out this way. It would be a lie to say that they weren't angry. Longao's arrogance was constantly provoking the Sword Sect's bottom line. Again, the two outer sect disciples weren't much, but this was related to the Sword Sect's face. If this matter were to spread, how could the Sword Sect establish itself in the first Shura realm? They couldn't back down in the slightest. "Sir, you are too arrogant. This is the Sword Sect. You can't take anyone away just because you want to. As for these two bastards who betrayed the sect, we will follow the sect's rules and tear them apart." Hearing this, Yi Feiluo and Tang Hao's faces instantly turned pale. If the master couldn't protect them, then wouldn't it mean that they would die without a doubt? They thought that they would be like carps leaping over the dragon gate, but they didn't think that they would be walking towards destruction. The two of them didn't say anything. Since they had already made their choice, it was too late to regret. I've already said that the two of them are no longer part of the sword sect, but my people. If you want to punish them, you will have to ask for my permission first. Coldly looking at everyone in front of him, Longao smiled and said, I want to take the two of them away. Anyone who dares to stop me will be killed without mercy. Big words. Without waiting for the elder to finish speaking, Longao, who was still there just a moment ago, had already disappeared. Du Miao discovered that something was wrong and was preparing to attack in anger. By the time he reacted, he helplessly discovered that the body of the elder beside him had already slowly fallen down. A space almighty was killed in one move by the opponent. One could imagine the opponent's strength. Even so, Du Miao and the others didn't think that Longao would be a peak space immortal. After all, a peak space immortal was already considered a peak existence in the vast universe. As for a space dominator or half-step space dominator, they were really elusive. What's more, whether it was a space dominator or a half-step space dominator, how could they lower themselves to deal with the sword sect? Because no matter how strong the sword sect was, in the eyes of these legendary warriors, they were just a slightly stronger ant. Destroying the sword sect was something that could be done in a matter of minutes. Because of this, Du Miao and the others were almost certain that if nothing unexpected happened, Longao was very likely a space undying. Otherwise, Longao definitely wouldn't be so arrogant. Not only did he want to take the sword sect's people away, he even killed the sword sect's elder. It could be said that he didn't put the sword sect in his eyes at all. Since you are a space undying, why do you have to go against my sword sect? If the sword sect has done anything wrong, please tell us. Chapter 2738. Starry Sky Immortal? What did that mean? Seeing the master's attitude, everyone was shocked. If the other party was really a Starry Sky Immortal, then things would be troublesome. But one had to know. The strongest person in the sword sect, Du Miao, was a Starry Sky Immortal. If that was the case, then other than Du Miao, no one was a match for the other party. Everyone knew what a Starry Sky Immortal meant. Everyone was completely stunned, including Tang Hao and Yi Fei Luo, because they never thought that the master they followed would be a Starry Sky Immortal. If that was the case, then the two of them had made the right choice. No wonder the master dared to do this. I just said that I will take the two of them away. Get out of my way, including you. This was unbearable. Even if Du Miao was afraid of the other party's strength, if he didn't do something after being provoked like this, how could he survive in the vast starry sky? How could he survive in the Azura realm? So what if he was a Starry Sky Immortal? Du Miao smiled. Sir, if it was 3 years ago, maybe I would have chosen to compromise, but now, Du Miao didn't finish his words, but the meaning behind them was understood by many people. Could it be that the master's cultivation had broken through from Starry Sky Immortal to peak Starry Sky Immortal? The entire sword sect was in an uproar, because everyone knew very well what the difference between Starry Sky Immortal and peak Starry Sky Immortal meant. As the master's strength increased, from now on, the first Azura realm would no longer have two major powers coexisting. Instead, the sword sect would start suppressing the blade sect. Thinking of this, everyone in the sword sect was excited. Peak Starry Sky Immortal? They weren't surprised at all because when Du Miao appeared, Longao already sensed the other party's strength, but he wasn't worried at all. Not to mention peak Starry Sky Immortal, even a half-step Starry Sky Dominator was nothing in his eyes. Let's go. Even so, Longao still chose to ignore him. Awesome. Yi Fei Luo and Tang Hao were very excited. Meeting such a master, no matter what the result was, it was worth it. Ignore? Not just everyone, but even Du Miao was dumbfounded. He thought that his opponent would choose to compromise after he released his Peak Starry Sky Immortal Realm aura. After all, the gap between Peak Starry Sky Immortal Realm and Starry Sky Immortal Realm was too big. But what was the result? The other party completely ignored him, so how could he not be angry? Could he be a Peak Starry Sky Undying too? It was complete nonsense. There weren't many Peak Universe Undyings in the entire vast universe. Why would a Peak Universe Undyings come to deal with him? He was thinking too much. You want to leave? This time, Du Miao didn't waste any more time. The longer he delayed, the worse it would be for the sword sect's reputation. The sword sect was one of the two great powers of the Azura plane. They had fought with the saber sect for many years. If they didn't handle this matter well, they would become the laughingstock of others. This was also what the Saber Gate wanted to see. Could it be that this person was specially invited by the Saber School to cause trouble? Du Miao was no fool. The other party would not do this just for the sake of two insignificant outer sect disciples. After all, their talents were limited, and their strength was similarly limited. Such people, no matter where they went, would be easily found. There was no need for the other party to go to such lengths for the sake of two people. Thinking of this, Du Miao was more and more certain that the other party was from the Saber sect. They simply wanted to deal a blow to him and the sword sect. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. What a despicable and shameless Saber sect. Since they couldn't do it openly, they actually came to this daddy secretly. Du Miao's cultivation base had smoothly broken through to the Peak Universe Undyings. Of course, he wasn't afraid of this person. In his opinion, as long as it wasn't a so-called half-step Universe Dominator or Universe Dominator, he didn't need to fear anyone. It was still the same sentence. Whether it was a Universe Dominator or half-step Universe Dominator, it wasn't like they had nothing better to do. Why would they come here for no reason? Courting death. Du Miao attacked with all his strength. He had already thought it through. No matter who the other party was, it would be better if it was someone from the Saber sect. He could use this opportunity to establish his prestige. Originally, after breaking through to the Peak Universe Undyings, Du Miao didn't want to expose himself too early. He hoped to deal a fatal blow to the Saber sect at the right time. However, things had already come to this point. He could only bring forward his plan. The two of them had to die. The other party also had to die. In this way, not only could he regain his face, he could also deal a heavy blow to the Saber sect. Even if Du Miao was beaten to death, he would never have thought that Longao wasn't a member of the Saber sect. Moreover, he had indeed come to the sword sect purely for the two of them. It was just that his attitude was a little tough. If it were before, Longao might not be so tough. However, the situation was different now. Longao was somewhat irritated because of the soaring dragon empire. Moreover, time was too important for him now. Humph! With a cold snort, Longao didn't retreat at all. Instead, he prepared to meet force with force. Seeing this situation, everyone couldn't help but despise him. Wanting to meet force with the master was simply courting death. Not only the others, even Du Miao felt that the other party was crazy. He knew that the other party was no match for him, yet he still wanted to fight. If that was the case, then don't blame him for being impolite. He would kill the other party without mercy. Boom! A loud sound rang out. The result was out of everyone's expectations. Du Miao, who had full confidence in winning, didn't kill the other party as expected. Instead, he was pushed back by the other party. What was going on? Looking at the scene in front of them, everyone was dumbfounded. They didn't know what was going on. Were their eyes playing tricks on them? Was this for real? The master was pushed back by the other party in a single move. Everyone swallowed their saliva. Many of them had already guessed that since the other party dared to provoke the sword sect, his strength was indeed not simple. After being pushed back by the other party in a single move, Du Miao's face was extremely gloomy. The result shocked him. He said in an extremely solemn voice, "So you are a peak starry sky immortal. My eyes were blind just now. I didn't see through your true strength." Du Miao was extremely regretful now. If he knew that the other party was a peak starry sky immortal, he wouldn't have made an enemy of such an expert even if it meant losing face. Especially when it was a life and death battle. However, it was obviously too late to regret now. He had to think of a way to salvage the situation. However, if the other party was really from the Saber sect, then things would definitely be troublesome. Chapter 2739. Sir, please leave. Seeing the other party not speaking, Du Miao finally chose to compromise. Seeing the master actually compromise, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. They didn't know what the master meant. Why did he choose to compromise out of the blue? Taking a step back. Even if the other party was a peak star sky immortal, so what? The master was also a peak star sky immortal. If the two fought to the death, it was still unknown who would emerge victorious. However, many people quickly figured out the pros and cons. The master couldn't fight to the death with the other party. Even if he won in the end, the sword sect wouldn't benefit at all. Longao sneered. Looking at the two people beside him, he said, "You two remember, if you want to get everything you want and not be bullied, you must have great strength. Understand?" Understood. Both Tang Hao and Yi Fei Luo respectfully bowed and answered. Previously, the two of them were more or less doubtful. However, the two of them now yearned for their master's strength. If they stayed in the sword sect, other than being bullied all the time, what else could they get? However, if they followed their master, they might be able to go further in the future. Just thinking about it made them excited. Seeing the expressions on the two's faces, Longao seemed to be very satisfied. Looking at everyone in front of him, Longao sneered and said, "You're the sword sect master Du Miao?" "Yes." At this moment, Du Miao was extremely depressed. The other party knew who he was, but he didn't know who the other party was. Moreover, whether the other party was from the sword sect was still unknown. As if he could guess the other party's thoughts, Longao smiled and said, "I'm not from the sword sect. My goal this time is to take the two of them away." This time, Du Miao was really shocked. Regret, extreme regret. If he knew this would happen, he wouldn't have bothered. Not only had he lost face, but he had also lost an elder. Regret. However, it was too late to say anything now. As expected of the sword sect master, Du Miao was able to let go of his gains and losses. Since the other party was not from the Saber sect, and they had only come here for two outer court disciples, then there was no need for him to have a life and death battle with the other party. "In that case, I won't send you off." An eviction order? On the surface, it was an eviction order, but in reality, everyone knew that Du Miao had chosen to compromise, unwilling to be entangled with the other party. How could Longao not understand the meaning behind Du Miao's words? He sneered in his heart. This was the cruel reality. Just now, when Du Miao was certain that they were weaker than him, the only thing he wanted to do was to kill the three of them. But now, seeing that they were stronger than him, he chose to compromise. His eyes shone brightly. His voice was extremely cold. Longao sneered and said, "Just now, you were ready to kill me. Do you think I would choose to leave so easily?" What did that mean? Du Miao was not a fool. Of course, he could understand the meaning behind Longao's words. If someone were to say that Longao was not deliberately causing trouble, he would not believe it even if he was beaten to death. If the other party was only a starry sky immortal, Du Miao would definitely not let it go. However, the other party was also a peak starry sky immortal like him. Du Miao was not a reckless person. There was no need for him to cause the sword sect and himself to fall into eternal damnation just because of a moment of anger. Endure. He had to endure. The more it was like this, the more he and the sect had to endure. I was reckless just now. I hope you won't take offense. Hearing the master compromise again, and in such a humble manner, the surrounding people were in an uproar. They could not understand why the master would do that. Longao shook his head. He originally did not want to target the sword sect. However, since things had already reached this stage, he had other plans. It was just that the sword sect was going to be the unlucky one. Extending his right hand, Longao still sneered. What did that mean? No one knew why the other party suddenly extended his right hand. Just as they were feeling curious, the next scene completely shocked everyone. Everyone looked as if they had seen a ghost. Longao used his finger as a sword and gently swiped the space in front of him. It was just a simple swipe, but no one took it to heart. Even if the other party was a peak starry sky immortal, Longao was not just any peak starry sky immortal. A shocking scene followed. Longao used his finger as a sword to swipe the space. Under everyone's shocked gazes, space began to shatter, and black cracks appeared. They were starry sky cracks. Starry sky cracks. Even if they were weak, they knew very well what starry sky cracks meant. It was an incomparably powerful force. Not to mention ordinary people, even a half-step starry sky ruler would not be able to resist such a force. Everyone was scared silly. No one had imagined that the youth in front of them could shatter the starry sky. Ah! Miserable screams resounded. In just a few seconds, thousands of people were swallowed by the starry sky cracks, including several elders. Du Miao's speed and reaction were faster than the others, but even so, he was almost swallowed by the starry sky cracks. It would be a lie to say that he was not afraid at the moment of life and death. At this moment, not only did Du Miao not have the slightest anger or resentment, he even regretted it. If he had known that the other party was so powerful, he would not have provoked him. However, it was too late to regret now. Your Excellency. As soon as the word Your Excellency was uttered, Du Miao seemed to have thought of something. His expression changed again, and he said in disbelief, "According to the rumors, a monstrous expert rose in the past few hundred years. Not only did he become the enemy of the 9 great starry sky empires, but he could also shatter the starry sky. If my guess is correct, you are the legendary Longao." Du Miao was completely dumbfounded, and so were the others. No one could have imagined that the youth in front of them was the legendary Longao. That fearless monstrous genius was the idol of many people. After all, there were not many people who dared to become the enemy of the 9 great starry sky empires. If Longao was a half-step starry sky ruler or a starry sky ruler, then it would be fine. But Longao was only a grade 8 starry sky cultivator. Because of this, no one, including Du Miao, thought that the legendary Longao would come to the Azura world. They also did not expect that Longao would return to the first Azura world and find trouble with the sword sect. If they had known Longao's identity, even if they were beaten to death, they would not have made an enemy of Longao. Du Miao was extremely regretful. His expression turned extremely unsightly. Chapter 2740. What kind of person was Longao? Everyone present had more or less heard of the legend of Longao. A madman who was not afraid of anything. No matter how strong he was, he dared to fight against the 9 great starry sky empires and remained unscathed for so many years. Not only that, Longao had even provoked the starry sky ruler. Not long ago, there was a sudden news from the vast starry sky that 6 starry sky rulers had joined forces to deal with the soaring dragon empire. If not for the 2 starry sky rulers by Longao's side who sealed the empire in time, one could imagine the consequences. It would be a lie to say that they were not afraid. They were completely afraid. There was no need to say how terrifying Longao was. As long as he was willing, he could destroy the sword sect at any time. A person who did not even put the starry sky rulers in his eyes, how could he put the sword sect in his eyes? It was very helpless. Senior Long, I don't know how the sword sect offended you. If they did, I am willing to. He waved his hand. Longao interrupted Du Miao. He did not want to listen to Du Miao's nonsense, nor did he want to kill him. There was no need. It was just a small punishment. I just said that I only wanted to take the 2 of them away. It was you who kept finding trouble. I was just acting in self-defense. Self-defense? Du Miao could be considered to be helpless to the extreme in his heart. If you'd revealed your identity earlier, then even if you beat me to death, I wouldn't have dared to make a move against you. However, Du Miao was extremely pleasantly surprised in his heart because he was able to discern that Longao didn't intend to destroy the sword sect or kill him. Otherwise, Longao would have made a move a long time ago. Du Miao did not say much. At this time, the more he said, the more mistakes he would make. It was better to keep quiet. Du Miao was betting. He was betting that Longao would not destroy the sword sect or kill him. If he won the bet, he would have avoided it this time. If he lost the bet, not only him, but the entire sword sect would be destroyed. Whether or not it would be destroyed was up to the heavens, and it wasn't something he could decide. After learning about Longao's identity, Du Miao didn't even put up a final resistance. In his opinion, Longao had to be extraordinary to be able to contend against a star ruler and a half-step star ruler. How could Longao not know what Du Miao was thinking? He was a talent. Knowing when to yield and when to stand tall, Longao was prepared to leave with the 2 of them. After all, the lesson just now was enough. However, Longao suddenly changed his mind. Holy sense transmission. Du Miao's face lit up with joy. He immediately dismissed everyone and brought Longao and the other 2 into a courtyard on the Sword Peak. Senior Long, may I know why you are looking for me? Du Miao's attitude was as respectful as it could be. Although his realm was similar to Longao's, Du Miao had a feeling that as long as Longao wanted to, Du Miao could easily destroy him. Du Miao chose to believe in his feelings. As for Tang Hao and Yi Feilua, the 2 still hadn't recovered from their shock. The 2 had countless guesses about their master's identity, but they never thought that Longao would be the legendary Longao. Too shocking. Unbelievable. However, the 2 didn't say much. On the other hand, the 2 didn't know why their master suddenly looked for Du Miao. Your cultivation has successfully broken through the limit of Starry Sky Immortal Realm. Do you want to advance to the next level? What did that mean? Du Miao wasn't a fool. Of course, he understood Longao's meaning. His cultivation had successfully broken through the limit of Starry Sky Immortal Realm. If he advanced further, wouldn't he become the so-called half-step star ruler? Du Miao of course knew what the so-called limit of star ruler meant. It was the strongest existence apart from star rulers. Of course I want to, but Du Miao didn't continue because he knew very well how terrifying it was to break through from the limit of Starry Sky Immortal Realm to the half-step star ruler. To do this, one must devour secret realms. It wasn't something that could be achieved through pure cultivation. You know the grudge between me and the 9 great Starry Sky empires, as well as the star rulers. Longao didn't finish his words, but the meaning was very clear. He knew that Du Miao must know. However, Du Miao didn't even think about it. He immediately said, "As long as you can give me everything I want, I'm willing to follow you. Whether it's star ruler or half-step star ruler, I don't care." This was what he wanted. Longao smiled and said, "Du Miao, the 2 of them will be the same as you in the future. Tang Hao and Yi Fei Luo were dumbfounded again because the two of them never thought that one day, their master would follow them. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have believed it even if they were beaten to death. No problem, master. Longao didn't care much about this title because he had already thought it through. Whether it was the 9 primal chaos steels or the 99 secret realms, the experts created from them would be his secret weapons. These people shouldn't be considered friends. I still need 6 more people. Du Miao, you can recommend them. Remember, talent and strength aren't important. What I want is absolute loyalty. Du Miao had already guessed what Longao was going to do. However, he was still shocked. It seemed like Master had more than one secret realm in his hands. Instead, he had multiple secret realms. There were 3 of them and 6 of them. If that was the case, Master had at least 9 secret realms in his hands. Just thinking about it made him excited. Du Miao never thought that he would one day be able to devour a secret realm and become a half-step star ruler. In his opinion, becoming a peak star immortal was already a blessing in disguise. Suitable people and absolute loyalty. This matter wasn't difficult, but it wasn't easy either. As for the reason, let alone Du Miao, even the other 2 already knew. How could a star god artifact like a secret realm be given away so casually? Tang Hao and Yi Fei Luo were completely dumbfounded because the 2 of them had already guessed what was going to happen to them next. It was definitely a secret realm. Du Miao had already explained everything about the secret realm to them. It was because of this that the 2 of them were even more grateful to their master. If it weren't for their master, they wouldn't have been able to obtain a secret realm and become a half-step star ruler. They would still be bullied in the sword sect. Master, the sect master of the Saber sect, Xiang Wentian, is a good person. Longao was very surprised because he knew that the sword sect and the Saber sect had always been enemies. He didn't expect Du Miao to recommend the sect master of the Saber sect to him. As if he could guess Longao's thoughts, Du Miao continued, "Since I've chosen to follow Master, everything should be done according to Master's wishes. Although Xiang Wentian and I have been enemies for many years, I can guarantee his character. P.S. The outbreak will start tomorrow at dawn." Chapter 2741. With regards to Du Miao's answer, Longao was very satisfied. As for Xiang Wentian, special times called for special people. As the saying goes, don't doubt the people you use. Since Du Miao followed Longao, he couldn't stay in the sword sect any longer. After passing the position of master to his son, Du Miao announced to the outside world that he was going into secluded cultivation. As for Longao's appearance, he immediately sealed off the news. Du Miao was very clear that if this matter were to spread, it would bring great danger to the sect. Not to mention the Starry Sky ruler, just the 9 Starry Sky empires could easily destroy the sword sect. Longao and Du Miao found Xiang Wentian and didn't waste much time before Xiang Wentian agreed. In front of a secret realm and a half-step Starry Sky ruler, no one could resist such temptation. 4 people was still a long way from 9. Choosing a suitable candidate was indeed a headache. Even Xiang Wentian and Du Miao didn't dare to say much. The Azura world had 10 planes. Just on the first plane, they had already found 4 people. Longao decided that the remaining 5 would be found in the other Azura planes. However, he didn't know much about the Azura world. The 2 of you, are there any suitable candidates in the other 9 planes? The 4 of them had already devoured the primal chaos stone tablet. In Longao's opinion, since he had already chosen them, the sooner they devoured the tablets, the better. It would be more beneficial for him. The 4 of them were completely dumbfounded after devouring the tablet. They didn't come back to their senses for several hours. It was no wonder. Compared to the primal chaos stone tablets, secret realms weren't even on the same level. The difference between the two was simply too great. Devouring a secret realm could make one a half-step starry sky ruler. But devouring a primal chaos stone tablet could make one a starry sky ruler. A starry sky ruler was the true strongest in the vast universe. A person who stood at the peak of the martial path. The four of them had never imagined that they could become a starry sky ruler by devouring a primal chaos stone tablet. In their opinion, their master allowing them to devour a secret realm was already a great gift. Primal Chaos Stone Tablets could devour the legendary Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. Before this, they didn't even dare to think about it. Gratitude. The four of them were filled with gratitude. Not to mention submitting, even if he wanted them to die, they wouldn't hesitate. The four of them were not fools. Master wanted them to continue searching for 5 people. Without a doubt, the 5 people they found were in the same situation as them. They could all devour a Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. A total of 9 Primal Chaos Stone Steels. The 4 of them didn't know how their master had obtained the 9 Chaos Stone Tablets. After all, in their hearts, they were very clear on what the Primal Chaos Stone Tablets meant. What did it mean to have 9 Primal Chaos Stone Tablets? If it was a secret realm, the 2 of them might have had an easier time. The only exception was the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. He could not afford to make the slightest mistake. Otherwise, not only would he not be able to help his master, he would even implicate his master. He had to think carefully before he could answer. Master, if you believe us, we've been thinking about it over and over again, and we've finally decided on 5 people. The 5 of them came from different Azura planes. They were Tiger, Li Chong, Ma Feitian, Feng Shan, and Xiaohu. According to the 2 of them, Longao roughly understood the situation of the 5 people. The 5 of them were practically all legend or almighty experts. Xiaohu was even a starry sky immortal. However, to Longao, their strength wasn't too important. It didn't matter how strong the 9 of them were. Because as he saw it, even if the 9 of them joined forces, they still wouldn't be able to help him. The only way was to refine the Primal Chaos Stone Tablets and become a starry sky ruler. This matter sounded simple, but in reality, it was extremely difficult to accomplish. Tiger, Li Chong, Ma Feitian, Feng Shan, and Xiaohu looked at the youth in front of them. Although they had already agreed to submit, the 5 of them were still very curious. They didn't know if their master would be able to fulfill his promise. How could Longao not know what the 5 of them were thinking? Your strength will increase by another step. That's too simple. The 5 of them weren't surprised at all. Because before they saw the truth, any amount of surprise or promise would be useless. The 5 of them had different strengths, but the situation was the same. To increase their strength by another level was truly too difficult. It might even be a bit impossible. It was also because of this that the 5 of them chose to follow Longao. They chose to believe in Du Miao and Xiang Wentian. The 2 of them had always been at each other's throats, but at this time, they had both chosen to submit to their master. The 5 of them were a bit curious. Even now, the 5 of them still didn't know Longao's true identity. Master, how will you help us break through our current level? This was the most realistic thing. Everything else was nonsense. Although I can help you, whether or not you can reach that step will depend on yourselves. The 5 of them were more or less angry. However, since they had already chosen to submit, they were willing to do so. Even if they were unhappy and angry, they wouldn't act up at this time. Longao was very satisfied with the 5's attitude. He also admired Du Miao and Xiang Wentian's abilities. The 5 recommended by the 2 of them might not have the strength or talent to dominate the vast universe, but their loyalty was needless to say. That was what he valued the most. Here are the 5 Primal Chaos Tablet. You can start devouring them now. Remember, no matter who it is, do not leak this matter. The moment you refine the tablets and become the ruler of the universe, it will be time for us to take revenge. Primal Chaos Tablets? The 5 of them were not Yi Fei Luo and Tang Hao. Of course, they knew what the tablets meant. They were the legendary divine weapons of the universe. In the entire vast universe, there seemed to only be 12 of them. Moreover, they had all been devoured by the 12 rulers of the universe. The 5 of them were skeptical. In their opinion, their master had no reason to lie to them. However, they still didn't quite believe it. The tablets were too shocking. The 5 of them didn't hesitate at all as they immediately began to devour the primal chaos stone tablet. Furthermore, they all succeeded. Longao sighed in his heart. This was the fate of humans. Bai Jing had tried her best to devour the primal chaos stone tablets, but she hadn't succeeded. He had randomly found 9 people, and all of them had succeeded in devouring the primal chaos stone tablet. The 9 of you, remember, the tablets you devour are all of the same element. Apart from refining the tablets, you must also help each other. Do you understand? Longao told the 9 of them everything that the 9 rulers of the universe had told him and how to do it. Not only did he hope that the 9 of them could refine the tablets and become rulers of the universe, he also hoped that they could control the power of primal chaos. Chapter 2742. The matter of the 9 primal chaos tablets had been settled. The next mission was to find 99 people and devour 99 secret realms. Although the value of the secret realms was not as high as the primal chaos tablets, they were still significant. In contrast, because of this, Longao did not dare to be careless. Even if it was a secret realm, he had to be careful. After searching for 2 whole years, he finally found all the suitable candidates with great difficulty. 108 people, all complete. The 9 people who devoured the 9 primal chaos tablets each brought 11 people. Once all 108 people refined their own primal chaos tablets or secret realms and grew up, it was easy to imagine what that meant. Other than Longao and the people involved, in the entire vast universe, only Bai Jing knew about this. If it was before, Bai Jing would definitely leak it out and use someone else to do the dirty work. But now it was impossible. Longao arranged this matter and did not let the 108 people follow him. It was still the same sentence. The current 108 people were of no use to him. If they forcefully followed him, it would only spoil the plan. The 108 people stayed in the Azura world. The 9 people brought 99 people to cultivate in seclusion, hoping to refine their own primal chaos tablets or secret realms as soon as possible. After settling this, Longao left the Azura world. Whether it was refining the secret realms or primal chaos tablets, it was not an easy task. Who knew how long it would take to refine all 108 people? Longao could not stay in the Azura world forever. Although he could not break the seal of the cave, he had to do something. Sky Martial World. Looking at the Sky Martial World in front of him, Longao sighed endlessly. Hundreds of years ago, he was just a trash in the scarlet flame town of the Sky Martial World. Everyone looked down on him. A full 10 years. Even if he was trash in the eyes of others, he did not give up for a single moment. 10 years was like a day. After persevering for 10 years, he finally met the Dragon Seal, which was the primal chaos 9-colored lotus. But he had already completely merged with it. After so many years, he had experienced countless life and death situations. If it wasn't for his good luck, he would have already died. If it was in the past, Longao would never have imagined that he would be able to reach his current level. Peak Starry Sky Immortal. Even in this vast starry sky, he would still be considered a super powerhouse. However, when he really stood in this position, he helplessly discovered that there were still many mountains blocking his path. Longao, you still dare to come? In the sky martial realm, 2 black dots quickly flew over, arriving in the blink of an eye. The newcomers were none other than Yi Dugu and the godly mathematician. After leaving the soaring dragon realm, the other 4 did not return to the sky martial continent. Instead, they left separately. As Longao dared to return to the soaring dragon empire, the 6 of them would rush over at the same time. But what was the result? Not only had Longao not returned to the soaring dragon empire, but he had come here instead. Whether it was Yi Gudu or the godly mathematician, they were both curious as to what was going on with Longao. Why would I not dare to come? Longao chuckled out. He did not place the both of them in his eyes at all. With the protection of the Primal Chaos Palace, even if it were the both of them, they would not be able to seal off the surroundings and prevent him from entering the Primal Chaos Palace. It was precisely because of the Primal Chaos Palace that Longao was so fearless. Yi Dugu and the godly mathematician sighed helplessly inside. Longao was truly a genius. If they weren't enemies, they would have been able to subdue such a person. However, that was impossible now. Longao, do you need something? The godly mathematician didn't immediately attack. He didn't have the slightest confidence in being able to keep Longao here. His greatest concern was the spatial divine item in Longao's hands. If it was a head-on confrontation, not to mention the 2 of them joining forces, even if any one of them came out, they could easily deal with Longao. However, Longao had the protection of the space divine tool. It was too difficult to trap Longao. If they wanted to trap Longao, they had to kill him in one blow. They couldn't give Longao any chance to escape. Godly mathematician, I will return double what the 6 of you have done in the future. He didn't care at all. Of course, the 2 of them didn't put Longao in their eyes. If it weren't for the Primal Chaos Rock, the soaring dragon empire would have been under their control. How could Longao dare to speak like this? The godly mathematician regretted missing such a good opportunity. If he had known this would happen, he wouldn't have done what he did. Longao, do you think you can do it? Yi Dugu's face was full of disdain. He continued mockingly, other than hiding in a spatial divine item, what else do you dare to do? Cowardly as a mouse, cowardly tortoise. He didn't care at all. If it were in the past, he might have been able to kill Yi Dugu. However, it was impossible now. The situation was completely different. Yi Dugu wasn't the same as before. Not only had he devoured the Primal Chaos Tablet, he had even refined it and become the ruler of the universe. It was almost impossible to kill Yi Dugu. Seeing Longao ignore him, Yi Dugu was thoroughly enraged. He didn't know why, but whenever he faced Longao, he would get angry easily. He couldn't even control himself. Just as Yi Dugu was about to attack, the godly mathematician waved his hand. He smiled and said, Longao, we don't have time to waste with you. If you have something to say, say it. The godly mathematician didn't believe that Longao had risked his life to come here just to scare him. If that was really the case, then Longao's brain must have been flooded with water, or Longao must have a death wish. I know how to control the primal chaos. Hearing this, the godly mathematician's eyes shone brightly. Yi Dugu's face was full of greed. After becoming the ruler of the universe, their only goal was to control the power of primal chaos. The difference between having primal chaos and not having primal chaos was too big. Both the godly mathematician and Yi Dugu were skeptical of Longao's words, especially since the primal chaos rock had destroyed itself to seal the cave. Perhaps Longao really did know something about primal chaos. How can you tell us? The godly mathematician wasn't a fool. Even if Longao knew how to control primal chaos, he couldn't just tell them casually. Do you think I'll tell you, godly mathematician? Longao, what do you mean? Yi Dugu was furious. Longao had provoked him again and again. Even if he could endure it, he couldn't. If he didn't fear Longao's spatial artifact, he believed that Longao would have died long ago. How could he stand here and haggle with them? Damn it. As the ruler of the universe, being provoked by Longao was simply humiliating. Yidugu was helpless to the extreme. If he hadn't experienced it himself, he wouldn't have believed it. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.